Welcome to Armchair Expert. I'm Dax Shepard. I'm joined by Monica Lily Padman.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you. I'll tell you what guy I love spending a Monday with, Charlie Day. We love Charlie Day. He's a returning guest.
He is. It was a long time ago that we first had him on.
Yeah, I just love Charlie Day. He's so damn likable. He's an actor, he's a writer, he's a producer, and he is a podcaster. He, of course, is one of the main three on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's also got a beautiful voiceover career. He's in the Super Mario Brothers movie, big old smash hit, Horrible Bosses, Fist Fight, Pacific Rim. But out now, he has Fool's Paradise, a movie he has written, directed, and is starring in. Yeah. I got scared about the starring. And
yeah, he's the guy.
Of course he is. That's how deep his character is I didn't even associate him with it. Yeah,
wow.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, he's just so fun.
No, he's so fucking cute.
Delightful.
He is. What a character. He's a character.
He is.
I adore him. Please enjoy Charlie Day.
He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert. He's an armchair expert.
A lot of changes here, pal, since last time I was here.
For the house?
Grass.
Boy, isn't that an enormous difference?
Yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, it's like, I guess for 5 years we thought we had a nice yard. Right? It had the promise of a nice yard.
It was a nice construction zone, which it still is, which it always maybe will be.
It always will be.
But
yeah.
but now it's one with grass, which is different.
Better.
We had my daughter's birthday party here, and there were probably 12 children playing in the grass. And I have to imagine that elicits the same thing for you as it does for me. It's like, now they're having a childhood.
I was also just away from people's homes, which is something I super stress out about as a parent. I think I left the house at like 6 and was like, bye.
Yeah.
I'll be back for dinner. You know, I'm not giving that to my kid.
I just was telling my 10-year-old the exact same thing. I was like, at your age, I would leave my house on my bicycle at 8 in the morning and I'd be out for 8-10 hours. I would just drop by my friend's house. There was no phones. I was knock on someone's door, see if they're home. Right? Just cold call.
Yeah, exactly. Did you ever get the kid that did that at like the random hour? The like, hey, it's past dinner and the kid's showing up. I remember one kid in my neighborhood occasionally would come over. You'd be like, oh, what's going on in the home life with this guy? Because he's coming over after hours, you know. It's bedtime, man.
Johnny wants to see what everyone's doing.
Yeah, and I don't know about you. I was super embarrassed about my parents. I'm like, oh, dude, get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Split, kid. You know? I don't want them to see you.
What were you embarrassed about? Because we're both professionals.
Yeah, because they were nerdy.
They
Probably
were nerdy.
Yeah.
Your dad was a professor.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, you know, first of all, I don't know what's going on with your home life, man. Like why you're here past dark. Secondly, I don't want you getting a good look at mine, man. You're not on the inner circle. I have a very trusted inner circle of friends that are coming in here.
My dad's a fucking nerd, okay? I can't just give you that info and send you out into elementary. Did you have a favorite friend's house to sleep at?
Oh, yeah. Chris Pettit, his house was the spot.
It was the
party.
party.
You know why? Because he had a furnished basement. There was like a romper room in a way. And they had a pool table down there.
Oh, baby.
They had a full bar, which we got into later in life.
Yeah. Is that where you first dipped into a little taste? And do you remember what it was?
Budweiser, man.
But that's very detectable.
Yeah.
We would challenge each other to have some nips off my stepdad's bar. And I was 7, so my 12-year-old brother knew to give me gin or whatever the bad stuff was.
Yeah.
And so all my first ones were like, oh my God, it's pine salt.
We weren't doing that until we were old enough that he knew we were taking his beer. I think before that, someone would have to go buy some, and then we would go into like the machine pit of like a church outside, like the air conditioning vent. We would like crawl down there, like no one's going to find us down here. The saddest place.
Yes.
Not like.
Wait, that's where you would go to drink?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, that's so degenerate
Just like,
right out of the
just
gates.
like the hum of the machines. Like, you know, just like, let's get these natty lights down.
Like Men in Black when he's got to enter before he gets to the elevator. Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, there's a little.
And the guy, there's a security
zone?
guard sitting. Yeah, and there's this like huge circular device, fan exhaust. And it's just like.
Couple things though. I'm such a bigger fan of the podcast because when I came on, the first time. I think I just started listening.
In preparation of coming, I think.
Yeah. Now I've listened to not all of them because there's more.
There's too many.
There's
We
too
have a
many.
lot.
Yeah,
But
there's too many.
all the ones that I'm curious about, which was a lot.
That's
Which is a lot.
kind.
And I'm a big fan, and I know more about you guys now than you know about me. I have like feelings about your dating stuff that
Oh, sure.
which like it irritates me a lot because I
Yeah.
feel like you're always into like the guy who would have been the captain of the football team and the exact kind of person that would overlook someone like me in high
Yeah,
school.
nice Charlie
No.
Day,
So-
Dax Shepard
There were
time.
no
yeah.
Charlie-
No, you were overlooking
Okay.
both of us. But
There
it's fine.
were no
it's fine.
Charlie Days or Dax Shepards who were interested in me at that age. I know you're gonna say you don't believe me, but I lived it.
That's not true. That's not true.
Or they
Because they just would be too scared to say anything,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
it's,
Because you start
know.
putting out a detectable vibe, which is like, I don't think anyone likes me, so I'm not putting out the lure at
Okay,
all.
I would have been so attracted to you. Yes, no,
No.
because now I'm remembering.
I was 3 feet tall, covered in freckles.
That was my type. I did assess early. I'm not gonna get Richard Accardi. That was my number one
Yeah.
football star. So I am going to go for this boy, Robbie. I shouldn't even. This is like bad because they all listen now. But Robbie, who's now one of my best friends, this is before he sprouted. So he was very short.
Little guy?
He was a little guy. He
Little
was
guy.
so nice. He was funny. He was smart. He was cute.
Parents were musicians.
They were professors.
Wow.
No.
Okay.
In Rhode
Similar
Island.
type.
Yeah, in Rhode
Similar
Island.
They
type.
weren't professors, but still. That's where I honed in on. Also, Teddy, the boy who rejected
what-
me, was such a Charlie type.
Different place, different time, right?
Different place,
For all
different
of us.
time.
Yeah,
Different place,
yeah.
different time. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, I wouldn't have rejected, but I also would not have made a move because I was terrified at that age, you
Yeah.
know, to talk to girls.
When did you start dating?
My senior year of high school.
That late?
That's how old I was
Because
when
you
I
were-
first kissed a girl.
But you've always been a little rascal, haven't you?
Oh yeah, I was a punk, you know,
Yes.
hanging out with the boys. But
So didn't you have the gumption to like chat with the, you didn't have,
No,
you
no,
couldn't
'cause
chat with
it-
girls or you get too nervous or something?
I could make them laugh, you know, like
you're there.
the step past that,
You couldn't
Yeah.
you
muster
know,
up to
terrifying.
And
Terrifying.
different time, different place. The girls are also not going to make any moves.
Yes, correct.
So even if they liked you, if
Correct.
you weren't making the move,
It's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
early 90s.
Yeah, early 90s.
If a
man.
gal made the first move, that would have been unthinkable. It would have probably traveled all around high school.
Yeah, they would have been a
And then
pariah.
You would have been so curious. You would love it, but
I think that sometimes this is probably why I do this for a living, because prior to this, like I, did some plays in school and was always the class clown. But before doing a play in my senior year of high school and like getting into writing music, before all that, I was all about baseball and just zero luck with the girls. And then after I started doing that and met other girls that I was doing plays with, and then suddenly, is it like a primal survival kind of thing where you're like, I guess this makes sense for me.
this is the lane I got to be in if I want to mate.
yeah.
If you want to procreate as an
just
animal,
in the back of your brain somewhere.
Yeah, you don't
You're
know
certainly
that.
not thinking that.
the reptilian brain is like, you have some opportunity here.
This is the lane in which you will potentially thrive, and no other lanes are you
Yeah,
are
they're
you
not for
making it,
you.
man? Yeah,
and it worked out.
yeah, worked out.
It all worked out.
So
worked out.
senior year was your first kiss. Will you paint a tableau for me a little bit?
Yeah, wait, I have to try to remember it.
Before you paint the tableau, I realize I want one more piece of information. Did you long for love?
Oh my God, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
First time I fell in love was in 5th grade, which is interesting because that's how old my son is now. But I don't think that's on his radar
Different,
yet.
yeah. Different time and place. Title of this
Different
episode.
time and place. But I don't really remember how it happened. I remember it was a girl named Catherine. We saw a movie together. We had a date.
Oh, wow. In 5th grade.
No.
But you
Senior
wanted,
year of high school.
I just needed to know, because I very much like junior high, I was all about new wave. I loved psychedelic furs. I loved Valley Girl. I wanted to be in love so bad. I really wanted it like people want to be on a sports team.
I was in love every year, multiple times a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You know,
so I just
yeah,
wanted to know that
yeah.
you had the passion
Crushing
to
hard.
experience
Crushing
love.
hard, yeah.
before we
Students,
enter this.
teachers. Yeah.
Oh my God, teachers, yes.
I had like a 7th grade social studies teacher I was convinced was in love with me. I was like, there's something.
Something's happening.
I'm feeling energy.
Yeah, there's
By the way, you were. That's what's interesting. It's dangerous to say that, but you also were. I guarantee it. You're feeling a unique rhythm with a human being, and
Yes.
it's real. It's an age thing. If you guys were the same age, that same rapport would be attractive to you.
Yeah, I think that what you're probably feeling Well, unless you're one of those kids who winds up hooking up with their teachers,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I don't think was the situation. I think probably what I was feeling was she was like, oh, this kid is funny and he's going out of his way to charm me and I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes.
She
You
like
know.
adored you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
which I was
exactly what it
picking up on.
is. For me, the quintessential ingredient of love and attraction is playfulness. So once you are talking with somebody
Yeah.
and you get this sense like, oh, we're talking, we're saying words, but you and I are playing right now.
You're saying I had a chance. You're saying there was a chance
Oh,
there.
you missed your shot.
Oh, man, I got to dig up an old yearbook.
My 8th grade teacher called me by my last name, and it was so playful and hot.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird as a parent to start thinking about that. At what point does that start getting on my son's radar? And is he going to have those crushes?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all
Soon.
different now, though.
Lincoln just turned 10. She does not want anything to do with it. One of her good friends told her he had a crush on her, and she was like, I don't want anything to do with
Oh
this.
my God.
He pulled back, luckily. They're still buddies. Delta had her first sleepover with her boyfriend this Saturday. It got interrupted because we were late coming back from Cirque du Soleil, so it had to get canceled. But she has a boyfriend. He's been over.
Wait.
What do you think the odds are that your daughters are going to be into guys who are super into cars and like tattoos?
Seems very plausible. But I'd say the more important thing is, I hope, is that they're going to be interested in guys who fucking listen to them and interact with them. That's the want, I think, that they've become used to. Like someone that treats them very seriously and intentionally and engages, doesn't placate. I hope that's the thing they'll have to have in a boyfriend, not the tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah. A little of both, maybe.
Anyways, back to Delta.
Yeah.
So Lincoln, who's 2 years older, she wants nothing to do with it. And Delta is like, she FaceTimes this boy every night. They talk
my
on the phone
God.
for like an hour and a
Get
half.
out.
They're 8. And she had a sleepover schedule on Saturday. And she's like, it's great. He likes to sleep on the top bunk, and I like to sleep on the bottom bunk. His little brother's going to sleep with his mom. And I'm like, this is hysterical. I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah.
It's so
That's
fun
sweet.
to watch. And it was my favorite part of being alive. And so I'm so excited about the whole thing.
Okay, so obviously now it's okay that they sleep in the same room. but
Yeah.
Is there ever a time where you're like, I don't know.
I
You
know.
guys should be
yeah.
sleeping in the same room.
Well, first it'll be a conversation of it. Might be time to go on the pill, huh?
Well, she's like,
Before
10?
Yeah. Yeah. And get off, Raya. You're too young. You're way too young.
And that's not even your fame. That's mine.
Yeah. You shouldn't be on that.
Okay, back to the first kiss.
Oh my God.
Pizza Hut?
It was at
Movies.
school. It was on campus
Oh, it
somewhere.
was. It
Yeah.
was.
And I remember I was like so excited. I like went to go like brag to a friend and like realized mid brag how just uncool it was, because I was too old and people had been like kissing people for
Yeah.
like 10 years. And it was just like, yeah, well, but I was excited. And then I got like a real girlfriend shortly after that, which lasted like 6 months. And since then I had a handful of relationships. And then I met my wife when I was 25 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I'm 47.
22 years.
Yeah. And we've still been together.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's sweet.
That obviously was one of the topics because I already interviewed you. We already did your
This
childhood.
did happen at some point.
Many,
Yeah.
many moons ago.
Just, I think, before the pandemic, like a couple of months before.
No, it had to have been before that.
Even
I was
before
sitting
that.
there.
Even before
Oh.
then. Yeah, you were sitting on
Long
this
time
side.
ago.
We hadn't figured that out yet. Finally, one guest was like, I don't like how much I have to turn my
Jake
head.
Johnson.
A man with a similarly rusty voice.
He's not unlike you.
We have rusty voices and we don't like to turn to the left.
No, that's another thing that everyone knows about you guys.
Yeah. I never worked with him. I'd like to work with him. I'm a fan.
I'm very attracted to him as an actor, and he seems to choose really cool stuff. He had a cool story. You should listen to that episode.
I will.
Got a great, cool dad who was like car salesman type, man about town, loved to party.
Really?
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of what you might guess,
There's
but
some gambling stuff in there with him, right?
Son of a gambler.
that feels
Or
right.
he was one. I forget.
Oh.
There's some
Something
tea.
young.
Something
way back
juicy.
when.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah,
patina
yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
For sure.
Okay, now full honesty, and I know Mary Elizabeth, so I think she wouldn't mind you at all saying this publicly, but you love your wife to death. She's the greatest. She gave you a beautiful son, a masculine boy.
He's very big, that's for
He
sure.
is?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's very tall.
Yeah, it's curious, isn't it?
Yeah. If he didn't love pickles so much, I'd be like, You know, and if he wasn't so dang weird, I'd be more worried. But yeah, that's my boy through and through.
But he is a big boy.
He is big, yeah.
And neither you or Mary Elizabeth are
No,
big.
we both had really tall grandparents. Like her grandfather was like 6'2" or something. and
Okay.
Mine was like 6 feet tall. And then our parents got the little genes, and then we got the little genes. And then I stored all those good genes and I passed them on.
Mega genes.
Although it could stop. Like, I always feel bad when people compliment him on his height, or they're like, oh, you're so tall. What's going to happen to him if he has that his whole childhood and then just like it just totally stops?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's identity shattering.
He'll be fine. He'll work it out.
His parents are rich.
No. I made a lot of bad gambling decisions with Jake Johnson.
I think you'll find this amusing. My father, who, look, he's doing the best he could. He was so proud of how enormous I was, but he also never knew my age. And so what was already preposterous is that I was 5'9" in third grade or something, right? But when he would introduce me to his buddies at the bar on the weekend with him, he was go, look at this fucking kid. Look at those kids in kindergarten. He would not only did it already look insane, but he was also shaving a couple years off on accident almost every time he told people. And then they would be...
Oh my God.
They would think I had a
scared.
condition, like acromegaly or whatever,
Yeah.
like our man.
You think he was
Andre
doing
the
that
Giant.
intentionally?
Genuinely, I think he had it wrong. I went from being really fun and on the verge of kind of freaky to like, wow, your kid's got some medical thing. Clearly,
Yeah.
if he's 6 years old, he
Yeah,
was looking eye to
we
eye.
got to get him. We got to check his pituitary gland
Yes,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I didn't know if my job was to back up his lie or correct him.
Well, it's confusing, you know.
Yeah.
Your dad's drunk, he's lying. And you're supposed to navigate the whole thing yourself. You're already too tall. So you're
learning.
feeling weird about your body.
But he's drunk, so if I contradict him in front of his buddies, is that,
can
going to
go
embarrass
bad.
him?
That can
And
go bad.
Is he going to get self-conscious?
I would say your dad wasn't doing the best he could. Based on that story. Based on you know.
That was a period where he wasn't doing the best he
Yeah,
could
yeah,
have, right. But he did end up doing the best he could.
He pulled it together.
Yeah. Okay, back to the 22 years
Mary Elizabeth.
together.
Yeah.
Mary Elizabeth.
22 years.
Who is beautiful and charming and sexy. You wrangled a really great one, so there's zero regret there. But do you ever just think, boy, I really got into this pretty quick? Let me back up. This ties into a separate question that I wanted to ask you about is, are you experiencing a midlife crisis at all? And how does it look for you? And is that in the mix too?
When I was 25, I felt like I'd done it all.
Yeah.
I was
old.
like, I'm old now. And I never matured past 25, which was helpful. So, no, if anything, I felt lucky that I wasn't in my mid 30s trying to figure out, all right, well, do people like me because I'm on a TV show or they've seen me in a movie? I never had to navigate that.
She got in at the ground floor.
Yeah, lucky that we had that.
And so did
that,
you.
Yeah, that we kind of came up together with
Angel
success.
investors.
And, angel investors
First
in
round.
each other's lives. And, you have friends whose relationships have fallen apart and you're grateful that we have whatever that is, that ability to navigate through whenever things are tough for us. In terms of a midlife crisis, I don't think I'm having one, which is weird,
You're
right?
not. Like if you had the thought, well, I'm certainly more than halfway through.
Nope.
Oh my God. I'm so envious.
So right
No,
now.
what you know what? Do you think part of the problem is that I've been doing the same damn thing for so long, like with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that I keep resetting the clock and doing another season of that? My life hasn't changed so much that I have to sort of reckon with it.
Yes, I guess what I have observed, and I've asked some older actor friends of mine, you will have to confront it because you'll start playing roles where you have a 9-year-old, or you have a 12-year-old, or you have a 20-year-old, or you have a graduate. And even I know on Parenthood for Craig T. Nelson, it's like he had to get sides that said he's going to die. And he had to go, yeah, that would be reasonable. Or I was on The Ranch and I love the actress I was working with. She was older than me and she was playing Alzheimer's. And I said to her, is it so wild? Because I imagine like you feel 30 like I do. You're going to play someone's Alzheimer's, which makes total sense or they wouldn't have given you the part. Generally, your job will force you to, as an actor, recognize what age you are.
Yeah,
But yours, weirdly,
does not.
yeah, you're stuck.
I know. And playing a character that's not supposed to develop or change. I mean, I have crisis moments about doing that show where we're writing and you feeling like, oh, we've squeezed a lemon dry or whatever, but then you stumble on a joke and you get excited reincarnated, and then it's like you're born again.
What season are we in?
16.
Wow.
We just finished season 16.
Oh my God, congratulations.
Thank you
we
very
have to
much.
Longest
stop
running-
for that. That's incredible.
Yeah, longest running comedy on TV.
That's not a cartoon, yeah. Which is crazy.
Unbelievable.
It is. It's very wild.
I just don't feel like I've had that crisis moment yet. My wife hasn't left me yet.
Have you bought anything stupid?
No, and I want to buy something stupid. Like
Yeah.
I've wanted like a really nice vintage car. I've texted you about this on and off over the years, and I don't do it.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I am so almost like OCD about the tasks that I'm trying to do that right now I feel like I have 3 things that I'm so focused on. One is raising a child. I'm just in the zone of that. You know, he's 11. He's in the middle of it. It's not kind of like, hey, let's walk away and look at what we did. Middle school and all that is coming up. 2 is this television show, which I've been doing for 16 years that we don't half-ass it. Like when we go to do it, I'm all in.
Yeah, because you're writing it. You're in the writer's room.
And then 3 was this movie that I made over the course of 10 years.
Yeah, because I want to say that when we interviewed you last, we talked about this movie.
Yeah, I was wrapped on my first pass of filming it.
Yes.
Which I went back in and reshot a quarter of the film.
Yeah.
But so I get so caught in these projects and I haven't put any of them down yet. So that one was from 2014 to now, and Sunny was from 2005 to now, and Russell was from 2011
Well,
to now.
yeah,
that I just haven't stopped down from my midlife crisis. But as soon as these are all out, I'm going to just be like, who am I and what have I done and what was the point of all this?
Can we get you a hot rod? I mean,
Yeah. Even like with drinking and stuff during the pandemic, and I was maybe like going a little too hard to try to cope with it. Even then I was like, no, I can balance this. Like,
yeah.
I need to do something crazy, right?
Well, no.
I sometimes think that about like Stern, which I've never done Stern, and I'm like, what am I going to talk about? I haven't blown anything up.
Yeah, you didn't blow up your show. You didn't blow up your marriage.
No, I haven't blown
Yeah.
shit up yet.
You're not introducing your son as 8.
No,
By the way,
no,
try
yeah.
it though. Try what my dad did and just see. Because your son at 11, you're like, well, that's a big boy.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you
yeah.
said he was
Yeah,
8,
yeah.
I
He's
think
pretty big for 8.
this little guy's about to start 3rd grade.
Ain't not
Can you
bad.
believe it, this little guy?
He can read and write too. We had such opposite experiences. Like I can remember going to theme park, I think like in 5th grade, and being smaller than all the fucking stupid clowns that you're supposed to be tall enough to ride the ride on.
48 inches.
Yeah, I was little. I got a good, for me, boost in high school where I'm like, okay, I'm going to seem like low average-ish.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
before that, I was like really tiny.
Tiny, yeah.
It's kind of amazing, the human race, that someone can be that little and then you can have like Shaquille O'Neal.
We just went through this.
Just went through this.
Okay, so Nicholas Braun,
Cousin
Greg,
He's a great big tall guy.
6'7". We just took
We
a
just
picture of
interviewed
he and Monica next to each other. And literally, I said exactly what you're saying. I said, same species. They could have a fertile offspring.
Maybe.
We'll
But
have to
probably.
try it.
Yeah, probably. Statistically speaking, yes.
Yeah, we'll
But
see.
give it
Have you seen Shaquille O'Neal's
Certain
girlfriend?
positions.
No.
Not only is he Shaq, he's 7'2". She is 4'11". I can look at pictures of them forever if you just keep showing me new pictures. I'm blown away.
That's exciting. The differences in people. I mean, I used to want to be super tall, especially when I wanted to be a baseball player. And I was like, okay, who's the tallest one? And the tallest guy, when I was coming up, was like 5'7". So I was like, okay, if I can just get to be 5'7", maybe I
Oh, you
can.
mean the shortest guy?
The shortest, yes.
I was going to say Randy Johnson.
Yeah.
He's 6'9"
The
or
smallest
something.
guy was 5'7". And then I remember like measuring myself in high school, I was 5'6" 3/4. And I was like, if I could just get that, well, you know, maybe with the baseball spikes on. But then you got guys like Jose Altuve, who's like 5'2", and you don't follow baseball, but this guy, very good. MVP.
I feel like you wouldn't have to be that tall for baseball.
Size and sports are good.
Your strike zone's very small,
That's true.
right? That's a little
That's
bit of
true.
a help
And
Yeah.
running, then you can run faster.
until a certain speed.
Speed and strength, man.
Caps
Yeah.
out. So also what has happened since you were last here was that your own podcast is enormous.
Yes. Although
Yeah.
we're not doing it right now.
I'm so confused by your guys' game plan. Walk me through. You have a hit show. Everyone loves it. They want it. And you guys have decided to not do a deal and then stop recording, it sounds like. What what is going on?
The 3 of us together are pure chaos, but not in terms of like personalities. None of us are like fighting or I don't want to do. It's more getting people in the same room and getting them committed to doing it. But you know, to really do a podcast, to do it the way you're doing it, it's a pretty full-time gig.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we were finding that it kept pulling us away from the show, most importantly, the thing that brought us to the party, and the other things that we're working on. So we all sort of collectively said, hey, let's just take a minute and then we'll just do them when we're free and we want to do them. And it won't be this sort of big play for a great big sort of financial score, but we'll just do it for fun when we feel like it.
It sounds so healthy.
It's pretty healthy.
But it's driving
approach.
me nuts.
It's driving me a little nuts because I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we're going to go do a bunch of live shows.
Oh.
We're going to be in London and Dublin.
You're going to London to do the podcast on stage?
We're playing Royal Albert Hall.
Wait a minute. Why did you decide to start in London? Or have you already done some in the U.S.?
We were going over there because we're going to pop on Rob's Wrexham show. And do something over there. And we figured, let's pay for the whole thing by doing some live podcasts.
Yeah. And so
great.
then you announced these dates and you sold these places out?
Yeah.
Incredible, isn't it? Isn't it so flattering?
And yet we're not doing the podcast.
No one's anything to do
maybe
with
by
it.
the time this airs, we'll be back up and doing some more.
Yeah.
I don't know what the game plan is.
How many a year? What's the max you guys did in a year? And what are you down to now?
No idea.
Was it ever once a week?
Yeah, there was a minute where we were all free enough to squeeze them in once a week. And then sometimes we would go in and like do 2 or 3 in a week so that we could buy a couple weeks off. We were cooking along pretty good until we hit production of Sunny this year. We just wrapped a couple weeks ago and now we're in the editing room. So we kind of stopped in the middle of production where we're like, we can't.
To get off work and then go hop in a room together after you've been in the writer's room and then production.
Yeah, we were doing it a little bit through the writer's room and then, I don't know, we just stopped. But call those guys. Say you want it back.
I have listened to several episodes and I love it. It's a no-brainer why it works, which is you guys have a fucking very well-established rapport. What makes this work is that Monica and I had a thing. We like to argue and bicker, and yet we both respect each other. It's self-generating
also,
nonstop.
what makes it work is that you guys have committed yourself to the art of podcasting. Maybe you started out being like, hey, let's try podcasting. Now, like, you are podcasters. It's what you do.
It's a job.
You do it well. You
Full-time.
interview people well. You're prepared. You know what you want to ask them. And I would think this takes first priority in your business life.
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a key difference.
You're right. That is the difference. It's our priority.
The first 3 years, I was on 2 different TV shows. And we certainly made it work. But what really started happening weirdly was I would be at an acting job thinking, this is so silly. I need to be back there where I really care about it and love it and I'm on fire for it. It felt kind of silly that I wasn't committing to this thing that was giving me so much. It was almost felt disrespectful. Like, why are you trying to juggle all this? You have this incredible bolt of lightning, nurture it and commit to it. And I felt silly at the other place as opposed to silly here.
The three of us, like you said, we have a specific voice and a brand, and the show is the brand. And then the podcast starting to become the brand. No one has voiced this. This is maybe just a wild guess. Not wanting an episode about an episode to be the primary thing.
What almost feels like the one's a vampire on the other thing a little bit.
A little bit. Even doing it live, which I like, and it's really fun interacting with the fans. There is a piece of me that's like, oh, I'm just singing the same Dayman, Nightman kind of songs for the podcast where I guess that's what bands do, just to kind of replay the hits. But there is that side of me that always wants to be making something new and being inventive. That being said, it's a total rush doing it live.
So you've done it live already?
Yeah.
Where?
We did 2 live shows in Philly and then one at a festival called Bourbon and Beyond, which it was in Kentucky. I think we were in
would make
Kentucky.
sense.
Yeah. That one was sort of chaotic.
Were people hammered?
Yes.
Yeah. Bourbon Fest.
Yeah. The Philly ones, people are also hammered there. But, like, it's sort of a theme with us. But
yeah. You guys should go to Bike Week in Daytona next,
oh
or
my God.
or Wares
my
Beach. Go
God,
to
yeah,
the New
yeah.
Hampshire Bike Week.
I know. It is fun. I do want to keep doing it.
The frustrating thing is it's so seemingly effortless. As soon as I listened to it and I was talking to Rob about it, I'm like, you have the thing already that people would strive years to get, which is you have the magic relationships. So it's like you guys could really add that to so many places and it's just going to work because we like being with you guys. It's entertaining. There's a symmetry to that relationship, which is endlessly giving.
This is not throwing my partners under the bus here, but sometimes I'm a little disappointed that we haven't branched that chemistry and rapport outside of the show into other things.
Yes.
Like Seth Rogen, who I love and adore, and I love all his movies, like him and Evan go on and make all these sort of
do.
different things. And, Rob and I successfully sold Mythic Quest, and he's gone and run that with Megan, and they've done a great job. But like the three of us together, I mean, Glenn and I were writing a comedy Western years ago. Then Seth MacFarlane came out with his, and we're like, well, that kind of killed it. But just kind of wishing that we had done a few more.
You're doing 16 seasons.
We have done 16 seasons
The
of
reason
television.
that other people can do that is because they're doing a movie and then another movie, or 3 seasons of a show and
Yeah.
then they do something else. You guys have been committed to the same.
Yeah.
That's why.
It was a big part of what took me so long to do this movie is I would keep having to go back and deliver an entire season of television, which
Yeah.
takes some time.
Yeah, but I have a hunch I know what you're saying. I'm the worst offender of it, which is, yes, envious of Seth, extremely envious of Danny McBride.
Oh, yeah, Danny is incredible.
He's incredible. He has his dudes. They've always been his dudes. That's all he wants to do is do shit and create with his dudes. And I think I wanted my own independent glory over the years. And I wanted to prove I could be something without the other elements that had just worked selfishly for me. And I think I admire that there's something about Danny McBride that screams integrity to me and doing it for the right reason. And so, yes, I think you guys probably should have had this superhero show that they have.
Oh, The Boys?
The
Or-
Boys.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not Seth, but yet Seth is there. He knows how to nurture and foster something. And so, yeah, you guys probably should have had a few The Boys along the way.
I think so. I think we
Yeah.
all just had different interests. You know, Rob got taken into Minecraft for a long time. He was going to make a Minecraft movie, and that took him down a certain path. Collectively, we had made a pilot for a television show called Boldly Going Nowhere.
I auditioned for it.
You did?
Yes.
Oh,
It's one of the funniest
wow.
scripts I ever read. It's a Star
You au-
Trek-y type thing, and the
You
captain
auditioned
sucks.
for the captain?
Yeah, they're like Star Trek, but they suck, right?
Did we see it, or did you get
I was
past
talking to Rob about it when I auditioned for it because I had never been on a show yet. I had just done movies up to that point, and I was like, I don't know if I ever want to do TV. But then I read that script, and I thought it was so fucking funny.
It was funny. You would have been great.
I felt like I
We
was.
should have kept.
great.
Well, maybe that's why it didn't work. Dax.
Well, okay.
Maybe that's why.
That's what I like to
But
believe.
it was before Sunny?
No,
No, it was in the middle of
Dang.
Sunny. There was no before Sunny.
Right.
Yeah.
Time didn't exist.
Sunny just is. We've never written a feature together. We work with each other on things, but I know it's a shame.
Part of it is you guys weren't childhood friends. You were kind of put together professionally by some people who knew you guys would work well together.
Yeah, there's some truth to that.
You're kind of more of a boy band. You think about it that way.
Oh no.
You guys were put together.
Rob and I were friends before that sort of nudging of us working together happened. And I'd met Glenn as well. But you're right. There was a moment where we all had the same manager, and he was like, you three guys should do something together.
Yeah, you hadn't gone to college together.
Yeah.
Or like Seth and Evan grew up together. Danny went to college
Yeah.
with all those guys he still works with.
No, but I think you hit it on the head. If we were still making Superbad, if Superbad lasted for 16 years,
Exactly. That's what they'd be doing.
yeah, then that's what they'd be doing. So you're saying it's time to end the show. I got it. Okay, so if we end it, it's you
No.
guys.
And then you can do the
guys can take the heat. It
podcast.
wasn't me.
Whatever. I've made my pitch.
We could do
I
it.
want you guys to make The Boys.
It would be fun to do more stuff. I would have liked to have all done like 2 big movies together. Now that they're kind of gone.
Unless you guys are in fighter jets.
Yeah, well, don't rule it out.
Hot Shots.
Oh man, that's actually a great pitch.
Yep. My daughter just watched Hot Shots because she loves Top Gun. So Kristen was like, there's a parody of Top Gun.
Doing our own sort of airplane-esque Top Gun, I would love that.
That's really funny.
See, I would do that.
Yeah, Top
Okay, do it. Go do it.
I would do it.
Bottom Gun.
Yeah, but then it's getting the
That's
other guys
too-
to want to do it. They don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Glenn would be a perfect Iceman. I'd be a hilarious old fat Mav.
McElhenney's going to be like the dickhead sergeant who's taskmastering and then has to join the guys at the end of the day. Yeah.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, so you're not having a midlife crisis. That's a bummer.
No.
On the podcast, you're doing it, but you don't know if you're doing it.
Maybe that's
So-
her crisis, is that we're just not sure if we're committed to the podcast.
So as you know, my first love is McElhenney. That's how I even know you guys. Through Caitlin, of course.
Yeah.
But Rob and I adore each other. I've noticed over the last couple of years, many of his posts, he's with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
They dress really nice together and they
Yeah.
own a sports franchise
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
And I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
You're jealous.
Yes, I'm
Like,
jealous.
why didn't he come to you about the sports franchise? Why?
Everything. I'll put some nice clothes on. We can go to England or whatever. I'll go with you guys.
Yeah.
This guy came around out of nowhere. Seemingly, they're best friends.
They're not. Let me tell you, I don't see that Ryan Reynolds ever. Never see him. I think they get along well, though. No. I mean, God bless him, man. Like, yeah, he had that idea. He told me about it. He was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this thing where I'm going to buy a soccer team. Instead of being like, what? That's crazy. The second he said it, I was like, that's a great idea, man.
Well, wow, you were immediately supportive.
Yeah, the minute he heard it, I was like, that's just a great idea for a show. Also, I think I had been working on this film for years and mired in like trying to make a movie and tell a story in a sort of different structure than people use. And I'm like, why didn't I just do a goddamn sports formula thing? You know what I mean? Where it's just like, you're rooting for the team, and then is the team going to win? And then they do win. Like the audience, they love it.
It's all right there for you.
And so when he said that, I'm like, well, you're taking the sports formula plus reality TV, and then you're splashing in Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
You can't lose, man. A little dash of Reynolds.
Oh, it goes a long way.
It goes a long way, yeah.
He's another guy. Mind you, I'm friendly with him. I used to ride motorcycles with him occasionally when he lived here. I
Yeah.
You ride
totally.
motorcycles?
Yeah, he rides, and he's got great taste in motorcycles. He was like the first one to have a Paul Smart that I knew, really cool Ducati. You know, like I show up, I'm in like Gore-Tex. I'm ready to go down at 190. I'm like, that's a vintage leather jacket, huh? What's that beanie? What are those boots? Like he looks like he's on the
I
cover
don't know.
of a
They,
GQ.
they gave it to me at the modeling shoot, and then they gave me the bike too.
I
You
don't
know, life's easy. Now I'm a billionaire too, guys. Gee whiz.
What's next?
Life is good, huh?
Ryan Reynolds, we'd love for you to come on and
Yeah.
let us know if all that's true.
Yeah.
So let me start with I like him, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like his shit. I love Deadpool, but even more, all this advertising stuff he does, this guy cannot miss. I'm blown away with every one of his advertising things.
You know, he's really smart guy. It seems like really savvy, really good sort of sense of how to market things himself.
Yes.
A good sort of sense of humor about himself. And that's always nice in a handsome guy.
They're great. Every
Yeah.
one he does, I'm like, that's a very clever way to get into that commercial.
Now, has he taken some things off the plate for himself? Let me ask you this.
Okay.
If he goes and tries to do like a sort of Oscar-worthy performance, are you going to be like, no, man, you've sold me too many cell phones or whatever?
No.
Or, no, right? He can do it all.
Story's king.
Yeah,
if they
story's
do it, it doesn't fucking matter. It is a meritocracy at the end of the day.
Honestly, we have to thank guys like Ryan Reynolds and George Clooney who go and they hawk products. And you're like, okay, well, if these cool dudes can do it, then I obviously can do it. When we started out, if you were an established actor doing a commercial, it was like, oh, I guess it's over for this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
It's
is he a
completely
gambler?
different now because now it's you in the commercial. It's not you being like
Yeah,
cast in the
that's-
commercial. as a
that's
thing.
true.
Also, commercials have elevated. When Chris and I did the commercial, it's not like we were doing a Tide commercial from
Yeah.
the 90s. We said, we'll be us.
Yeah.
If that interests you, let's party. So we had creative control. That didn't exist. So again, as long as the commercial's good, you're win. Like I see some of these commercials on the Super Bowl.
I've done tons of them.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's my favorite thing I've seen this guy in a while. Some of these commercials.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
McConaughey's commercials are great, man.
Oh, he's one of the best.
You do a very good McConaughey impression.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Do you think he has the thing that most people have where they don't hear their own voice? Any actor gets so used to hearing how they look and sound that thing goes away, I think.
But I've had the experience where someone's doing me and everyone's laughing. And I'm like, that does not sound
Oh,
like
yeah.
Ed Helms does a me.
Oh, really?
And so does Krasinski. And I've been around both of them when
Really?
people are really laughing. And I'm like, what is he doing? That sounds like me. I can't see it.
You would be tough. I was never good with impressions.
No.
Does
but
anyone do you? As someone?
you would think that people would do me like, but they
Yeah.
just go high, they go like this, and it's like they overdo it. They overshoot the mark.
No, because you have a mix of grovelly and high. It's
Yeah.
hard. You're
Yes,
like,
we go, man. But then people, they go, me doing an impression of me. And then they talk like this. They go a little high. They go too high with
Yeah,
it.
I think they're miscalculating. It's not
Nah.
high.
what? No, it's the graveliness.
Yeah.
But what's
Yeah.
so hard is it's gravelly and high.
But
Yeah.
not too high. It's like
No, you don't sound like a woman being
No.
attacked in an alley.
I
but-
mean, I can. Like, the more upset I get, the higher I go. But yeah.
What voice are you doing? Oh, okay. Here, now we're onto your products.
Okay.
Oh,
And they're great. Both products you're here to peddle. Super Mario Brothers. This is a mega movie. This is the biggest movie
Yeah.
you've ever been in, right? I don't know about you. I have let go of that fantasy that I will ever be in huge movies.
It did not occur to me how big this movie was going to be.
It didn't.
No.
But did you come in after Chris?
Yeah.
Chris is only in the biggest
I
movies
know.
of all time.
yeah.
Pratt?
Yeah.
God.
Anything he's in, they make 6 of.
That's true. We did the Lego movies together.
That's
Okay.
a huge
Yes.
I knew he could carry a cartoon movie on his shoulders and that he was very good at it. I did not anticipate the passion of the Nintendo fans. When you really think about it, okay, if you're a big fan of, say, Jurassic Park, how many times have you seen Jurassic Park in your life? Let's say you're a super fan and you've seen it 15 times. Don't ask me to do math. However many hours
30
that
hours.
is, right? No way that's even coming close to the amount of hours people have spent with Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
I spent 2 years of my life.
2 years of your life,
7th and 8th grade.
So the relationship people have with those characters, and then even seeing it in my own son who loves video games and will escape into video games to sort of cope with life.
Yes.
That Mario and Luigi have been around making people's lives better. I know this sounds
Saving them.
like a plug for Nintendo. Like I have some Nintendo corporate guy with like a gun at the back of my head saying like, now say this. No, it's totally true.
Yeah.
That it's made someone's day better. It's been a great escape from a bully in their life or whatever it is. They can go into this world that they have some level of control over,
Yes.
perform a series of tasks,
And
and
get better at it.
Feel
So-
accomplishment.
Master.
you could beat it.
Yeah.
So stepping into that, you're realizing, okay, people really care so much about it. Now, I felt confident. Maybe this is arrogance, maybe this is ignorance, but if someone calls me and says, hey, you're the man, my first instinct is like, you've made a damn good choice because I'm going to bring it, Now,
Great.
it's only after I'm done that I'm like, oh boy, I hope that works, But when I'm in it, I'm like, great, let's go. I'm going to give it my all. So during the process of making it, it did not occur to me at all, the sort of the passion and the fandom. And then so far from what I've seen, it seems as though people are reacting positively to what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of relief there.
It's probably really tactically smart that you didn't allow yourself to recognize what a significant and seminal property it is for
Yeah.
people, because that
Yeah.
might have fucking
It also
psyched
is
you
like
out a
two
little
like
bit.
cartoon guys who smash their heads into bricks looking for coins. So
Yeah,
I like,
yeah.
it's not like,
And they're Italian, right? This
yeah,
is
I'm Italian.
I know, yeah.
So, it works.
Your great grandfather changed the
My
name,
grandfather, my dad's dad,
went from Del
Giorno.
Giorno.
Today.
Is that delivery? No, it's Del Giorno.
Yeah, it's Del Giorno.
Del Giorno.
Slightly different spelling. But, same.
Just a slightly
Of the
different
great
word.
Pizza fortune. Yeah.
So going into it, what is your process? I actually am interested in this. It sounds
Yeah.
like a fake question, but it's sincere. The sky's kind of the limit. We've never heard Luigi talk.
There's some things in the video games, and then
Sounds.
there's been some previous cartoons and movies.
Okay, how do you decide what Luigi's going to sound like? Is your first thought like, I'm going huge Italian accent?
Well, I didn't take it, honestly, until I knew what their intentions were with the movie. What version of this are you guys trying to make?
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, we're trying to make actually real grounded, as far as you can ground a Nintendo character so that they have emotions and that
Yeah.
you care about them.
An
and,
arc.
and they're not just saying like, let's go the whole time,
Yeah.
for 90 minutes or like,
a
it's me.
mushroom.
Like, yeah, we know it's you, dude. You've been saying it for 90 minutes. Just like any other acting job, years of research.
Hang out with
Lots of plumbing.
bricklayers
I
around
cannot
town.
tell you how much pasta I ate.
But you don't wait till you get in there to try the voice out. You're in your bedroom or something, trying out some different voices?
Yeah.
Are you recording any of them on your phone or anything?
I don't think I did that. My voice winds up sounding like my voice no matter what I do to it.
Right.
So if I talk like this, it sounds like me talking like this. If I talk to a character like this, it still kind of sounds like me.
Yeah. Sir Billy the Kid has a pretty thick accent.
All right, we're going to get into that too.
Yeah. But you're right. When Billy the Kid in your movie starts letting it rip, some Charlie Day comes in.
I know.
'Cause
Yeah,
it
yeah,
just
yeah.
has to.
Yeah. Until someone tells me, hey, eliminate yourself from your character.
Yeah.
That's my juice. I'm bringing my life experience to everything I do.
What's making you so appealing, in my opinion, is you're incredibly specific. That's
Yeah,
why you're
yeah.
appealing.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah, maybe.
very specific. If I see you and 8 other people on screen, I will certainly remember you. It'd be like to Jordan, don't shoot jump shots anymore.
Well,
That's what
thank
you're
you.
great at.
Thank you, man. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
I'm the Michael Jordan of acting. You said it here. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night.
So I went in there knowing I was going to do the Italian thing, but for me, like it was like a little Brooklyn, but having lived in New York for years, and then also probably just bringing a lot of Providence to the character, you know, just like putting a lot of Rhode Island in there.
Providence is like the third gangster city.
Well, outside
I'm
of
just
New
saying,
York.
you think
Yeah.
New York first,
Yeah.
and you think Boston with the Irish mob.
All the Italian mob was in Providence, and then Mayor Buddy Cianci, who was all tied in with the mob,
Sure, you got to
went
be.
to jail and then came back out, ran for mayor again, got reelected, and won again.
That's so
Oh,
good. That's like Marion Barry. Do you remember
Yeah,
him?
of course.
Smoke
yeah,
crack
smoke
on
crack,
TV.
man. Yeah.
And then got reelected.
Honestly, I feel like our politicians should smoke more crack.
They
It's like,
should. Why
yeah,
not?
Just like, just admit it. Just be like, all right, I'm going to smoke a little bit of crack, then I'm going to hit the floor, and let's just talk it out, man.
I'm going to talk to some constituents. I need to hear
I'm
from
gonna
them.
Talk to my constituents
Yes.
on my crack cocaine.
Yes.
Honestly, I think I tried a million different ways of doing the voice, and they
Okay.
were very specific about what they wanted. I see now why, because of the passionate fan base, speaking to the fan base and the relationship that people have with the characters. So they were like, we don't want to get this wrong. So we tried it a lot of different ways. Oftentimes they'd be telling me to take the edge off it. I think I'd be going like a little too good fellas, and they'd be like, let's sweeten Luigi up here a little
Now
bit.
you just
you know?
can't leave.
Yeah.
Now you just
Yeah.
can't leave.
And Mario, I'm gonna break your neck.
I see another one of these fucking mushrooms.
You're always trying to give him a fucking mushroom. They're gonna
No,
kick in
the
the
best
doors and
part.
like drag me out
The
of here.
Mario Police Secret Service.
It's funny though. So I have really enjoyed being a part of that.
What's hard for me is I can come up with a good voice and I can really find a rhythm, but then 7 days later, I can't really remember the voice I was doing. Anytime I commit to a cartoon, every session, I'm like, could you play back?
I had to do that for
You
sure.
did? Okay.
Thank God they're recording it.
Yes. But it's hard to remember a voice you've made up.
Yes. Again, I wouldn't say I was coming at it from a point of like making up a voice. It really was sort of more just an acting thing, which was just like, okay, what does Luigi want?
Yeah.
What is he saying to Mario?
Mushrooms.
It sounds a little bit like my voice now. Just give it a little bit of Brooklyn and cartoon it up a little bit.
Yeah,
like
sure.
Like
Put it through the cartooninator.
like a little more Mario. Like a little more like I don't know.
I'm already in.
I don't know. Yeah.
It's a winner.
I know. It's big for Russell. This is big in the Day household.
Oh, I
bet.
bet.
Oh, that's so
I'm going to
fun.
take him to the premiere and a couple of his buddies
Oh,
This is,
wonderful. Is it at one of the...
downtown somewhere.
Oh, no shit.
Not on the west side.
Curious. I thought it
Lucky.
would have been over at the Man's Chinese or something.
Yeah.
Nothing's at the Man's Chinese anymore.
No.
Sad.
It is.
My premiere is going to be at the Man's Chinese.
It is?
Oh, there we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
my
right.
God.
Fool's Paradise.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
we're going
God.
to do it there.
Okay, let's talk about Fool's Paradise, which I watched last night and had a quadrillion laughs.
That's all I wanted.
I love inside baseball movies.
It has been inside baseball for sure. But you don't have to be in baseball to enjoy it, I think.
I don't even think you need to make that excuse. Think how many inside baseball movies and shows we all love. We fucking love Curb Your Enthusiasm. It doesn't stand
Think about
like
Succession.
Larry
What do I know about running
Exactly.
ATN network?
Not much.
But I'm in.
This is the Succession of comedies.
It's very much being there.
That was my sort of intention. Sometime in the middle of Sunny, we'd written that Western, and I was like, well, what else would I like to do? I said, I love movies like Being There. They're just never going to make another one. I'm never going to see one. I'm never going to get a chance to be in a movie like that or do my sort of
Peter
version of
Sellers.
the Peter Sellers. I said, well, what if I just make it? It's an homage to that movie.
That movie's about Peter Sellers plays a gardener.
Chauncey the gardener.
Yeah, who becomes Chauncey Gardner. And he gets elected to prime minister or something, right?
They satirize the world of politics by watching this guy. It's the Mr. Magoo formula. Can you have people project onto a man what they want to see?
It's also Forrest Gump.
Yeah, you're
It's
right.
very
Forrest
much-
Gump is very much that too. Although he's actually performing a series of elite tasks.
Only because someone dropped him there.
Yes, but he is still like a world-class ping pong player and like
He is.
saving a man in Vietnam.
He's
Yeah.
got some skills.
And like, he's
Yeah.
winning football trophies. But same idea, where it's like someone who doesn't have the mental aptitude to be really understanding the situation they're in, can't be cunning, can't be savvy.
And people then project onto him integrity.
Exactly. And can you use that as a way to sort of satirize and being there as the world of politics? And I thought at the time, why not just set that in Hollywood? What more sort of vain, egotistical place
Yes.
is there
Exactly.
than the world of show business? Talk about an industry of just perception versus reality. I mean, this is it. So just feeling like it was the perfect formula for just saying, well, let's kind of use the Mr. Magoo, the Forrest Gump, the being their formula.
I'm going to be a dick for a second. I'm not
Okay.
going to name names, but there have been some folks too. There's a bit of a history with some people sliding through and they like end up in an enormous hit movie and you just scratching your head at how it happened.
Yeah.
And it always comes out in the wash. But you know, the town has a history of 2 and 3 hit wonders where they just ran out of talent.
On the other side of that, I also found it interesting the way people want to just rip somebody down. As quickly as they put someone up there, they say, great, we love this person. We idolize them. Now let's get them the heck off that.
Yeah, I want to see them fall.
And there's a lot of Schadenfreude. What is that?
Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Schadenfreude.
And even more essentially, it's just story. Once they're at the top, the ride's over for us in the audience. There's only one option story-wise is that they come down and then we can follow that. So it's just like, be careful, Ryan Reynolds. Seems like you're on the
Watch
top
out,
of everything.
He's
Ryan.
doing great.
Watch your ass,
He knows
Ryan.
how to ride the wave.
He seems like he has his priorities in order, even though. And that, of course, was something that I wound up. Because I think on my first pass of this film, it was more cynical and it was more just that sort of satirical look at things. The pandemic kind of slowed things down for me. And then going back into a season of Sunny, and I had this version of the movie that felt incomplete and I couldn't really pinpoint what needed to change.
I have to tell you, you've embarked on the hardest endeavor possible. Truly. I can't imagine you recognized it when you started it, but you have a protagonist who doesn't speak.
Uh-huh.
And of
That
course,
was an issue.
That's whose story we're following.
That's right.
So it's a huge undertaking.
The double mistake was I have a protagonist who doesn't speak and then doesn't want anything.
Yes. Well, we couldn't have found out what he wanted anyways, unless he had pointed to something dreamily.
Right.
But really quick, just to bring people up to speed. So we meet your character. You're in some kind of a hospital and a
Yeah.
doctor's explaining that you have some kind of interesting.
An unknown sort of trauma. He has no ability to speak. He can hear. He's not deaf. He's not mute, but
Yeah.
he can't
comprehension's
communicate.
in question.
And he sort of has the facilities of a child. The line in the movie is like that or a Labrador retriever, which is that like he'll sort of follow people around,
Yeah.
but he doesn't really understand the world at all and how it functions. And that he's going to have to, have some intense sort of exposure therapy to break through this. And it's going to be expensive and difficult. And then they ask, so, what are we going to do? And we find that, well, the state's not going to pay for any of that. So we're going to
Well, the guy's like, well,
his ass on
you
the
know,
first
you would
bus
do.
downtown.
Yeah, the doctor's like, yeah, well, what would happen is we'd go to this and then behavioral psychology. Then we would do this and then we do that and blah, blah. Then he'd have a connection that would bring him back online. And the woman next to him was like, oh, wonderful. And he's like, well, none of that's going to happen here. He's in a state hospital. We're going to turn him out to the streets.
Yeah,
And then,
right.
yeah.
Stick his ass in the first bus downtown. Peter McKenzie's a great actor who's been on Sunny a bunch.
But you discover, and I don't know in what iteration of the movie, of course, what he wants is connection. And
Yes.
he wants a lifeline and he wants a friendship. He wants an anchor, a tether.
Yes, he just needs one meaningful human connection, which turns out very difficult to find in Hollywood. But without Ken Jeong and what Ken Jeong does in this movie,
He's insanely good.
I think it's the best performance he's ever
Unreal.
given.
When he makes his emotional turns, they're real.
They're 100%
That's
real.
what makes it an
So
incredible
I
performance.
had one scene of emotional stuff in there for Ken, but his character sort of ended midway through the movie. I had been showing the movie to this guy, Guillermo del Toro. Turns out he's a pretty good filmmaker.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
wow.
Yeah, turns out he's okay.
Cool.
Was
Yeah,
a
write
good-
that down and check
was a
out
good
some-
friend to have.
Uh-huh.
He was the one who had sort of identified Ken as the heart of the movie. During the pandemic, I had done a quick reshoot where Ken had narrated the movie. It did not work at all because I wasn't following a story. And then I had an offer to sell the movie in its old form. And I had called Guillermo and I said, listen, I can sell this movie right now. And my financiers would like me to.
Yes.
But I know it's not working yet. It's not what it needs to be. And he was the one who was saying, listen, just look back at Ken's character and see if you find some more in there. And if you need to reshoot the movie, just do it.
Wow.
Hard advice to receive.
Hard advice.
Yeah.
I did 14 Mountain Dew commercials. I put all that money into reshooting the film.
Wow.
I wrote 27 pages following Ken's character, and I changed the movie. It becomes, you take being there and you smash it together with Broadway Danny Rose, and then suddenly I do have that narrative engine that I needed, which was the emotional drive of Ken, who plays this sort of sad sack Willie Loman type Shelley the Machine Levine
He's
publicist.
presenting himself as a publicist. Yeah, he has no clients.
He's desperate to get into Hollywood. And he's the one.
He wants to be a star, which is the cute thing. And
he
he's
wants-
letting it slip out a lot.
He lets it slip out a lot. That one day he's going to have his name in lights.
Yes, exactly. He's like, wait, how is the publicist?
I
They've
think
never put a
a
publicist.
lot of publicists feel like that.
Yeah, the guy behind the guy, like the guy who makes
Exactly.
someone a star. And then the lucky moment that happens for him in the film is that my character, once released to the streets, it turns out I look exactly like a method actor who won't come out of his trailer,
Who's a drunk?
who's a drunk.
Once
and,
upon a time in Hollywood, the slight vibes.
Oh, yeah, sure,
yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure.
So Charlie's playing two people. He's playing Sir Billy the Kid. He insists on being referred to as Sir Billy the Kid. And the producer's like, you got to pick. Either you're English
Yeah. Either you're a sir or you're Billy the Kid.
Western Billy the Kid.
Which is it?
I refuse. I'll do one or the other.
The inciting incident, and I think it's okay to give away, is that Sir Billy the Kid accidentally kills himself trying to find some truth for a hanging scene.
Yeah.
And comedy ensues.
Yeah, they plug Charlie in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And off we go.
Yeah.
So I watched Hit and Run because I was like, I need to get caught up on Daxy's work too. You must be a huge Burt Reynolds fan. It's such a Smokey and the Bandit vibe.
It's 100% Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah.
He was number one, and that's the number one movie.
I was thinking this just in terms about what we do. So Guillermo invites me out to dinner, and there's all these sort of amazing, impressive people there. I'm talking to this one director who's been sort of dipping his toes like into the Star Wars world, but he does all sorts of other things.
Ryan Johnson.
Not Ryan Johnson. But I realized, oh my gosh, he was of the age that when Star Wars came out, it must have been just a sea change in his life. Same with you, probably Smokey and the Bandit, maybe me when I first saw Being There. To what extent is everyone in Hollywood,
Doing the movie they grew up on?
trying to do and recreate the style of movies? Obviously, you watch mine, you're probably feeling a lot of like Coen Brothers-y.
Yes.
Straight out of Network.
Yeah.
And then even Sunny, I feel like we're just trying to do moments and things from things that we love.
But it's totally okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you should. I mean,
Yeah.
how else are you going to...
It's what art is. Every artist was trying to be another artist, and it just can't help but go through their own filter.
Right, but we're not trying to all be the same artist, which is why we have the
Well, we
variety.
can't be. That's what's hilarious. Is like,
Yeah.
it's okay if we're actually trying to be exactly Michael Jackson. We can't do it. And in the process, this new thing materializes.
Yeah.
And I think people carry some guilt about that, but every artist has had that. Rick Rubin, he wrote a book on creativity.
I listened to his book.
Okay, so
which
you
is
know.
rare because I read and listen to nothing.
He's talking about like art's around you. It's what you are opening your eyes to. It's outside of you.
Yeah, it becomes second to you. Sunny's the same way. This movie is the same way, where I have an intention to make a thing. And of course, it winds up being its own thing. And then the longer I'm with it, the more I realize I don't know if I'm making it or it's becoming alive and forcing me to feed it in a way where it's like, it's inevitable to happen. Good, bad, whatever, it's irrelevant. It's going to exist in whatever form it wants to be.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to steer it into a thing, but it's going to become its own animal. That sounds hoity-toity, but like there's something to it, right? Like this podcast where you're like, we're going to dabble in a thing, but then suddenly it just,
It
I don't
becomes
know.
bigger than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it
where's
does.
the influence coming from? Outside yourself, certainly.
Yeah.
I remember one thing that was a great relief to me is like I sold chips. The pitch was the simplest pitch I've ever pitched. I said,
Remember the show Chips? How about a movie?
no. I said, what if we did the Lethal Weapon version of Chips? Not a parody, not silly, lots of blood, lots of cool stunts, and the comedy will just exist. Like, let's do Lethal Weapon Chips. And then, of course, all the Lethal Weapons were written by Shane Black. So then in the process of writing that movie, I start watching them all over again. I start reading interviews with Shane Black. Well, it turns out Shane Black was specifically trying to make, I don't know what it was, but let's say The Conversation. There was an exact movie he was trying to make, but it came out of him as Lethal Weapon. And then I tried to make Lethal Weapon, and it came out of me as Chips.
You watch Boogie Nights, which is an iconic film, and yet so Goodfellas.
Totally. He's trying
Everyone's
to make Goodfellas.
doing that.
Yeah, I know. I rewatched Pee-wee's Big Adventure with my son and realized how much of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia's humor was influenced by that movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, which you wouldn't think of because I thought in my mind I was like, oh, it's just like a kid's movie.
It's not. Did your kid like it? Because my kids hated it. I showed them thinking they're going to love it. And they're like, this is the scariest, weirdest movie. Is he an adult or a child? I'm like, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it?
I think he liked it, but I do think he had that like, what is this dude's deal?
It's an eerie movie.
Yeah. It made sense for the 80s, but like, you know, like looking back on it, you're like, what is this man's deal? He's acting like a child. And,
Yes. Is he,
Something a little like
he's going to strange lengths about his bike. And
pedophilia.
his neighbor is a grown man also.
Yeah.
But he's a
Some
child.
hanky stuff.
His bathtub is a full swimming pool. I don't know what's happening here. Yeah.
His friend's even more confusing because the friend's a full-grown man too, but he's a child. Like his parents spoil him.
Yeah.
It's very confusing. Okay, back to your movie. First of all, the cast is pretty ridiculous. Bateman's in it. Ken Jeong's in it. Ray Liotta's in it. Malkovich is in it. Adrian Brody's in it a ton. He's brilliant. Edie Falco's in it. Common's in it. Kate Beckinsale is in it nonstop. John Bryan fucking scores it. This is impossible.
How about that score?
How did you get John Bryan? You just said Boogie Nights. Like all your favorite PTA movies are scored by John Bryan.
Punch Drunk Love and Magnolia.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
What a good score that is.
Beautiful.
Even his Lady Bird score, which he did recently, which is not as orchestral as some of it's still beautiful and amazing. He was so good and so talented that it was the only part of the process that I felt borderline useless, relieved at this point of the process to be useless. Because it'd been such a long journey to every time I went into his studio and he was showing me what he was working on. I was really almost brought to tears with just how beautiful it was and just how much sort of love and attention was being given to this thing that I poured in so many years of my life into doing. And to have this guy who's such a great artist tie it together.
Elevate it for you.
Elevate the shit out of it. And sometimes I felt bad where I was like, I need to make a better movie so that it can fit this score. This guy is so good.
Yeah.
And we recorded it with a full orchestra down at the Sony studios where they did the Wizard of Oz and stuff. And I even got to like hit a gong in the thing and like go in.
How special.
It was really special. Yeah. How I got him to do it, I don't know. Leslie Jones, who edited the film, had done Punch Drunk Love. I started with Tim Roach, who's It's Always Sunny editor and a good friend and a great guy. And he couldn't just agree to do the movie for 10 years.
Indefinitely. Yeah.
So he got sucked into the Marvel universe when I was sort of starting to reinvent the film. Luckily, I found Leslie, who had done Punch Drunk Love and The Thin Red Line and these beautiful movies. And it was really helpful for me at a point in time where I was starting to maybe get a little lost and confused.
You get so lost.
Yeah, to be able to turn to someone who'd made movies that I really love and to be like, you like choice A or choice B. To have someone in my corner there, unlike Sonny, I didn't just have Rob and Glenn to lean on or blame.
Yeah. More importantly, to blame.
No one to blame but me. So like having Leslie through that process, maybe it helped that John knew that she cut the film. I think he just really liked the movie.
Yeah, that's great.
And I think he liked musically what I wanted to do with the film and that he was going to get to sort of play more than he gets to sometimes with these scores and that I was going to have his back. There was no like studio saying, you can't get a full orchestra for a film this size. Like, we sure can.
It's going to be 2 Mountain Dew commercials.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 Mountain Dew commercials, but here it comes. Here it comes. And you know who wins? The fans. The fans win.
Now, does Mary Elizabeth, does it ever come up where she's like, I don't know, we could use that Mountain Dew money for, like a pool or like for dinner, a nice dinner or something?
No, I sort of said before, you know how much this means to me and how much I want this movie to look and feel a certain way. And the only way for me to do it is to fall on the sword of making sure it happens. And she was supportive. To my financiers' credits, they were also splitting with me the costs all the way through to the end. I was somehow doing it to alleviate the pressure on them as well.
Well, once you turned down the offer, you probably felt pretty
You didn't take the movie
responsibility.
away from me. And to their credit, these guys at Armory Film stuck with me the whole time. And my producing partner, John Ricard. So like I had a team of people kind of with me on this whole journey, watching me rise and fall with trying to figure this thing out.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
Okay, just a couple things I love because I've been around actors now for 20 years. They're at a premiere and you're just walking through and you're not like stopping on any of this stuff, but Adrian Brody's character is talking to somebody And they're like, I loved it. Yeah, it was so great. And he's like, yeah, tell me some specifics. And I'm like, oh my God. A, have I heard that? And B,
Yeah.
what it really embarrassingly reminded me of is like when you've done something and someone's telling you it's good and you're like, if they don't mention one of the scenes, I pretty much know they're just being
Nice.
kind and nice. Like if they can't think of
If they don't remember a
moment.
specific moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like just seeing that and the desperation we all have.
How funny is Moses Storm, who plays the junior agent in the
I
film?
love Moses. I know him from UCB. We came up through UCB together.
Someone had sent me his stand-up and said, hey, you
He's
should be
the
aware of this
best.
guy. And that was a role that wasn't in the original script, but because of Eddie Falco's schedule, I couldn't get her there for this rooftop party sequence
Yeah.
that I have. And I had a lot of the cast there. I knew I needed that scene and I needed to shoot there. By the way, I reshot there. I got back everyone in those same tuxes and suits. But
God. The amount of phone calls you made.
the amount of phone calls I made and like on my hands and knees, like, hey, can we
Do
please
you
come
steel
back?
yourself before these calls like you're at your kitchen table?
It was tough.
it's
That
time
does
to
not
call.
come natural to me to
Yeah.
beg.
Yeah.
Or just
And
any
it was a-
friendship I have.
I didn't mind so much reaching out to friends because maybe rightly, maybe wrongly, I felt as though the material was strong for them. Where I was like, if you come in to perform this, there's something meaty for you to sink your teeth
Yeah,
into.
you're gonna shine.
Like John Malkovich, I don't mind sending you the scene because you're going to rip this up. And it was quick yes, which really I think helped in securing the rest of the cast. Because you see Malkovich is in something and you're like, okay, there's a little cloud to it.
Really quick, are you pals with him?
I worked with him once on the Louis C.K. movie that got canned.
Oh my God.
And just stayed friends or friendly. I mean, we don't lunch together, but I would, you know.
Yeah.
He lives in a cave somewhere, right?
Last time I saw him, he's like, "Oh, I'm off to Paris to judge a fabric competition." Like, of course you are.
Fabric.
Of course you
Oh,
are.
God. All right. Well, shout out Moses. I
Yeah,
love
shout out to
that.
Moses. So Moses, I wound up creating this character of the junior agent, and then I started to fall more in love with the idea of the person because it was going into the theme of desperation in the film of everyone always sort of like the social climbing aspect of things.
Yeah.
And he was just a home run for me every time in the original shoot, in the reshoot.
That's awesome. I love to hear
And then
that.
Sudeikis plays this director you work with, and you're not going to say it, but I'm going to say it. And I was sitting there thinking, how many people will know what this is?
When I go and visit him at his house.
Yep.
Do you know that?
I
that's-
know what it is.
Oh, that's
I
amazing.
have sat in the fucking photo booth. Have you?
Yes. So there's a sequence where I go
I
and
need more info.
I'm
okay.
going to give it to you, but go ahead. He's had a hit movie now.
Yeah, I've had a
so
hit
he's
movie.
the talk of the town. Everyone
Okay.
wants a meeting with him.
and then I'm moving up in the world, and so I go to visit some sort of
And you
hot.
still can't talk.
I still don't
He
talk.
never
yeah.
talks
and,
once.
and nor do people realize that I'm not talking, which is
Yes.
really
Which
is-
part of the humor of the movie.
It is because everyone talks so much.
Yeah.
It doesn't even occur to them you haven't said anything.
You know, that was a really interesting challenge as an actor. If I was just acting, fine. But acting and directing while you're doing that, I would sometimes be in the scene and forget to act because, you know, I'm making sure that people are saying the line I want them to say, the way I want them to say it,
Yeah.
and making sure that the camera moved where I wanted to move. And then I would get halfway through the take. I'm like, oh shit, motherfucker, you're in this scene. You better, you know.
Yeah, because you don't have to think about your own lines either.
Yeah, you better start reacting in the way that the character would. So none of those things
Well, you had a
made it into the
deceptively
film.
small amount of work to do. Deceptively small.
Yeah. So there's a sequence where I get taken to his house, which was loosely based.
I know exactly who it was. It was a certain director, producer who was
Sure.
canceled.
We can beep that maybe. or-
No, he's been canceled.
Okay. I was brought to his house and someone told me to go wait out in the back, and the person answered the door with like a shirt wide open, you know, and he screamed at his maid, and he was holding two of the same exact belt, and he's saying which one, and the maid was so confused. She's like, which
This is real.
which
This is real.
fucking belt? Most of the movie was sort of loosely.
Yeah, it's little tastes of what archetypes exist.
Yeah, but that one sequence was real.
By
It
the
was
way,
peak
and I
peak.
knew it before the photo booth because I had the experience, went to the house, same thing,
Yeah.
whole 9 yards. Let me own my thing. I've directed Chips. It tested super high. It hasn't come out yet. People are telling financiers they need to meet with me. So it's happening. I'm you in that scene. Go to his house, storied Hollywood place. Have a meeting. Meeting's great. Then let's go out to the photo booth. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't even know what that means. But then you end up going on a Hollywood memorabilia tour. He owns all kinds of bizarre things, like a lightsaber from this and a steering wheel from that, right? So when your man in the movie, when Sudeikis picks up the sword and tells that story, and then you get in that box and we don't know what's going to happen, but I say to Kristen, this is a photo booth. Because Monica, he tells you, get in this photo booth by yourself, and he takes pictures of you. And then after he tells you, oh, and I'm going to be putting out a coffee table book. So basically, you've just found out you've agreed to be in someone's coffee table book.
Yeah. And he did it to me twice. So I had a general meeting with the man. And it went exactly like that. And then years later, I think he was a producer on Horrible Bosses because his production company was like putting
He
the
had a
money
whole
up.
finance fund.
Yeah. So they were like half co-financing or something.
Yeah.
And I was at his house and he did the same thing to me all over again with no memory of having done it the first time before.
This is the craziest punchline. I tell the story a lot. You're seeing all this Hollywood memorabilia. Then you do the photo booth. Then he says, do you want to meet Peter Bogdanovich? Did you have that part?
No.
So he knocks on a door. It's like a laundry room that's been converted to a bedroom. Door opens. Peter Bogdanovich is sitting there, dressed to the nines, scarf on. He's been sitting on the edge of his bed doing I don't know what. He introduces me to him. And I go, he has living memorabilia. Like, this is part of the exhibit.
Yeah, I got him trapped in here. He can't leave. Yeah.
He's doing him a favor. Like, he was
You want to see him do a spin,
helping him.
Peter? Do a spin. Do a spin, Peter. Take off the ascot. Yeah, very bizarre.
Apex Hollywood experience. I'll probably never have one weirder.
Well, so my experience the first go around, he brings me to his bedroom and he starts changing, but it's not at all
Not sexual.
Not sexual, no.
Right.
And he holds up two of the exact same belt. They're two little brown belts, and he yells for his housekeeper, and he's yelling at her. Poor woman, I don't think really knows what the hell the man's talking about.
Right.
He's yelling, which one?
Yeah.
Which
my
one? And she's like, what?
I'm
what
not your
is this?
stylist.
I wound up putting all that in the movie. And then he goes, do you want to go to the bank? I'm like, no. No, man. Why the fuck would I want to go to the
Good
bank
for you.
with
You said no.
Yes, I said no.
Was it hard to say no?
No, at that
It
point, I
wasn't.
was like, this guy's crazy. I don't want to work with him.
for
And
you.
I'm like, yeah, man, no, I'm good. I don't need to go to the bank. I'm driving out of his house, and all of a sudden, I see down this like long driveway, this Bentley rushing up on me, like doing 80 down like a...
A very tight driveway.
Exactly.
Big incline, too.
I barely make it out of the way. It like runs me like into a hedge and fishtails into Benedict Canyon with two cars going like missing it and zips out of there, which I had also put in the film, but stunt wise and budget wise and timing wise, I wasn't able to like pull that stunt off. That's the one chunk that's like straight from reality. If you go to see the movie in the theaters, how about that too? Getting a movie in the theaters again. I'm so excited about
Impossible.
that. I'm happy just to give people that option.
Yes, congratulations. That's
Thanks.
fucking hard
Had
to
to
get.
fight for that.
Impossible.
That was tough.
You know who else fought for that? Tom Cruise. You know, they were trying to release Top Gun during COVID on their streamer.
I'm glad
And
he fought
was
for
like,
that. It gave us
"Fuck
something to do."
No. He's like, absolutely not.
And it was
that
huge.
movie was held for 2 years.
Wow.
It's so fun to see a funny movie in the theater. When was the last time you saw a funny movie in the theater?
Just happened, but it had been a long, long time. Cocaine Bear. Saw it in
Okay, great.
Atlanta.
I need to see that too.
You
Yeah.
got to see it.
I saw Triangle of Sadness, which I didn't realize was a comedy
Oh
when I
my
went.
God.
And then 10 minutes in, we're all kind of chuckling. And then like 15 minutes in, we're like all out, uproarious
and
laughter.
then when the rough seas start, people are screaming,
yeah.
right?
And it was such a good experience. The first couple laughs were kind of people looking at each other like, hey, is it okay?
Yeah, is it
can we
funny?
all, is this funny? Can we all laugh together? We went through a phase of like, are we allowed to laugh, you know?
Yeah, but then Mother Nature takes over.
And
You
then,
can only hold it for
God,
so long.
Yeah, and
that
then you
movie
have to-
was incredible.
Brilliant.
Oh my God. Best movie I've seen in so long.
Have you seen The Square and have you seen
have not.
Force Majeure?
No.
Force
What?
Majeure. You've seen Force Majeure.
But I saw the English remake of it, right?
No, we saw the real Swedish one.
Oh, we did.
Yeah.
I loved it. Did I love it?
Yeah, you loved
you
it.
Did.
Okay.
Go see all his movies, man. He's
I'm
incredible.
going to now.
Oslin? Don't
know how to pronounce
cut that.
Sweet.
Cut that. That's what we say on Sunday. Cut that.
We say a lot of that here as well.
When we were interviewing Letterman, he accidentally said that the director of his documentary was Morgan Freeman, and then it just became the best thing ever.
It was Morgan Neville, who I'd also just worked with.
No way.
He did a documentary about a baseball family, the Vecks. Bill Veck and Michael Veck invented fireworks at baseball games and all these things.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Michael Veck, his son, he had that Fuck Disco Day at the White Sox Stadium. I don't know if you saw the Bee Gees documentary where they like smashed disco records.
Yes.
And there was like a riot. He's the villain. And it sort of really messed his father's legacy up. So then he kind of came back and pulled his life back together and did some wonderful things. But Morgan called me and said, hey, you probably don't want to do this. Do you ever want to do any reenactments in a documentary? I said, yeah, I'm in.
Yes.
And my agents were like, you're doing what? I'm like, I'm reenacting in a documentary.
Yes.
Leave me alone.
Kristen and I can't remember what show we were obsessed with, but it had a lot of reenactments, and they were absolutely horrendous. They're the worst reenactments we ever saw. And both of us called our agents and we were like, you got to get us on that show. We want so bad to do a reenactment on this show. And then never materialized. Was it fun doing a reenactment?
Yeah. Because it was like zero pressure.
Yes. In fact, you're kind of obligated for it to not be good. There's a tone you got to hit.
It was fun too because the guy, he was a lot like heavier than me. And I had like some time before I did it. So I'm like, great, I can just like let it go.
Sure.
It was really good, you know. Zero
I did
stakes.
take personal offense to you being on Kimmel saying that being in shape is not funny at all.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
Tell Ryan Reynolds that.
He ain't funny.
He's pretty funny.
I know. He's very funny.
What about Chappelle? What about Eddie Murphy?
All funnier if they were like slightly out of shape. Slightly out of shape.
Do you know in real life, I one time ran into Adam Sandler and I had just done this movie with Kristen where I played an underwear model and he had seen it somehow, not the movie, but he'd seen I'd gotten in shape. And he's saying, yeah, it's not funny, buddy. Just remember.
Oh, it's not comedy, bud. Well,
Gotta eat a lot of food.
gotta get that comedy, bud.
That's exactly what he said. And I was like, all right.
You said you don't do impressions.
Well,
Right.
just the Sandman. I love the Sandman.
Oh, we all love the Sandman. Okay, so everybody has probably now seen Super Mario Brothers, but see it again. And if you haven't seen it, go see it. But most importantly, go see Fool's Paradise in a theater. Laugh with your friends. Bring a gang. Eat some popcorn. Spill your Coke everywhere because you're giggling so much. And have a blast.
Yeah. And watch Ken Jeong shine, man. I really had to like ask him. I'm going to ask you to carry my movie
Yeah.
and I'm going to ask you to really kind of rip your heart out of your chest and be really emotional in a movie that's otherwise pretty broadly comedic. If you are ever goofy sad, it's not going to play.
You gotta be real sad. That's why it works for me. I really long for him.
And he went for it so hard, man.
No, he's so incredible. Have you ever hung with him socially?
No.
He was a doctor in real life.
Yeah, I
He
love
lives
that.
like way up in Calabasas.
Okay,
And he's
fuck
got the
that.
kids.
It's not that can't happen.
Do you hang with anyone socially? I don't. I mean,
Yeah, we have
you
a- we
pop
have a
by
crew.
my house every now and then, which is a treat.
Yeah. If I'm riding with the girls on the
Yeah.
motorcycle and we pass
Yeah.
your house, we're gonna knock.
Please do.
Back to that we were saying in elementary school.
Yeah.
Like, you're the only person I'll go knock on your door or ring your gate, let's be honest.
Anytime.
Okay. Last question. I saw that you had given the commencement speech at your alma mater and they gave you an honorary PhD.
Yeah.
What?
I
You're a
did the
doctor now?
I'm Dr. Day. Yeah.
Doctor, but he's the second Dr. Day. His dad was Dr. Day.
God.
As is my mom, as is my sister.
4 doctors.
What?
When I told my sister that they gave me a doctorate, there was like a long pause.
I'm sure.
I was like, you know how you like worked really hard and studied a lot and like learned a lot of things and know a lot of stuff? Yeah, they just like gave one to me.
Well, I had one too. I got really resentful when I read that because I did the UCLA one and I went to UCLA and they did not give me an honorary doctorate degree.
Well, you know, as much as I love Merrimack College, I don't know that UCLA and Merrimack
They're
College are the
different.
same
Not in the business of
They're not in the
giving
same
out
conference.
scale. Yeah.
Minimally the same conference.
Yeah, you could probably get one from Merrimack if you want one.
Call them up. I'll give them a
Just give a buzz. Let them know you're going to give them a commencement speech.
It's a lot easier in 4 more years of
Yeah.
college. I'll do it.
Makes you feel better. I haven't used it, nor have I remembered I had it until
Just
you
now.
just now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dr. Day, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I have a little something on my inner groin I want you to look at.
Oh yeah, sure. What's going on?
Yeah, just now that you're a doctor. I just want to make sure that it's just a rash and nothing more.
Are you drying before you dress?
I'm always in a hurry.
Yeah, that's probably where the fungal growth is coming from.
Okay,
Yeah, I
it's
kind of
that
want to
moisture.
dry that all. She doesn't like
Yeah,
that.
you're going to want to talc,
We're
that
drop
up.
Stay tuned for the fact check so you can hear all the facts that were wrong.
Charlie Day.
Chuck Day.
Yes.
Chucky D.
Charlie.
Chuck D.
Chuck D?
Chuck D, very famous producer.
Oh. I
you were
have a
gonna tell me a
crazy
story.
story.
Cannot wait. You teased at it before an interview we did 3 hours ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been
sitting on
It's
it.
been searing a hole in my brain waiting to hear.
Even though we say sim all the time and xanthan gum.
Right. We say sim, we say xanthan gum.
Yeah, we say ding, ding,
We say
ding.
ding, ding, ding. Yeah. We have the duck,
we
duck,
say duck, duck,
goose.
goose. Yeah. We say,
So you wouldn't want to be ya.
we say been there, done that.
We say too sweet to be forgotten. 2 + 2.
But I have never seen this much evidence of a sim
Uh-oh.
in my life.
Can I pause you for 1 second?
Yep.
Have you been talking to Eric at all today?
No.
Because he texted me this morning. Can I read you his text?
Yeah. I'm scared.
I think you should be. Watch out for sim glitches. I am seeing more lately. Last night it was raining by my barbecue while I was in the dog run. No trees overhead. I don't really understand what he's saying, but the fact that he sent me that, I said, good to know. I'll be on the lookout.
So maybe he saw it was raining, but he wasn't getting rained on?
Or it was raining by his barbecue and not by him in the
him,
dog run.
even
and
though
there
there's
was no trees, so he
Yeah.
would have been.
Right.
I'm not sure. But mostly just getting one that says, watch out for sim glitches.
That,
Is more a sim glitch?
yes, because I have 2.
Okay. Hit me.
Why don't I tell the smaller one?
Yeah, of
First.
course. You got to
Got to build up. Yesterday, I was with Jess and Anna,
Okay.
and we were talking about food and eating food. And
Shocker.
And I mentioned my bolognese.
Mhm.
And we were talking about that and pasta shapes. And I said, I hate penne.
Strong statement.
Yeah, I don't like penne.
Mm-hmm.
Molly Boz, one of my chefs, she also doesn't like penne.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So I felt validated not liking penne. It was this whole
You felt
conversation.
seen, yeah.
Yes. And it was a whole conversation. I ended up giving some penne away at the end of the night.
Unloading it.
Yes. Today, Allison,
Roman.
yes, put out a cooking video,
Uh-oh.
a pasta salad.
With penne?
No. In it, she says, you can use whatever pasta you want. And she shows all these pastas and she said, but I hate penne.
Oh, Andrew Penne?
She hates penne.
Oh, no, I
No,
can't
she
have
does.
it.
She
Wow,
doesn't hate
hates
penne, but she hates penne.
Penne.
Like
it's a
me.
weird word when you say it a lot.
I know.
Knowing it's Penne, right?
Yeah.
Penne.
Penne.
I'd like
Yeah,
it spelled
sounds-
differently.
It
Maybe
sounds
N-A-Y.
Valley Girl.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Wow.
the next today. That's crazy.
That is.
That
You
is-
just made a big stand about it.
I know.
Penne.
Penne.
Doesn't that sound insane?
Yeah.
Penne.
Anyway, that's crazy, Sim.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the real, I don't know if this will translate to the audience as much, but it will to you.
Okay.
So I am about to start my house, as we mentioned last time. And obviously, this has been a 3-year-long process, but the past 8 months
Mm-hmm.
have been slowed down by an individual,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
a neighbor. And I won't
Mhm.
say any names.
Right.
Penne.
Yeah, we'll call him Penne. Anyway, he has been the bane of my existence for the past 8 months. We can say that.
Yep.
And
Preventing you from starting your project.
Correct.
Forever.
in a,
Hostile way.
yeah, a bullying way.
Mm-hmm.
Leverage and
I'd like
trying
to add, for
Mhm.
context, that I have had to be talked out of upwards of 20 times in the last 8 months from knocking on his door and either knocking him out or telling him, you're a fucking bully and I see you, and knock it off. So I've
Yeah.
been there.
Mhm.
I was going to park my trailer in front of his driveway. I mean, I've had all these and I've been talked off every time. But
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, Kristen doesn't want you to mix it up, and neither do I.
Mhm.
So this has been ongoing. Everyone in this room knows this person and knows the stories. It's been a nightmare.
Mhm.
But we got around this person.
Yeah.
And we,
The good guys won.
that's right. And it was a whole thing.
Had to
so-
go to the city. Whole thing.
Whole thing. And finally, we got what we needed. I'm starting tomorrow. This is so exciting, right? Yesterday, I'm driving home from here and I'm pulling into my apartment.
Uh-huh.
And guess who's standing in my driveway of my apartment?
No.
Yes,
What?
penne. Penne
Picked it from his
pasta.
house.
A few miles away.
Miles away.
Yes. And let me add, Your apartment is not on the way to anywhere.
Nope.
It's not next to a parking lot of another popular.
It's not like it's
you
like by
can't
the gas
accidentally
station.
end up there.
No. And he was talking to some people working. I was on the phone and I thought maybe I was like sort of hallucinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was like, what? That can't be. And also I'm not in the headspace to understand what's going on. So I drive in, I park.
It's like you're watching a Western and all of a sudden the cowboy pulls out a cell phone.
Yeah, it
You're
makes
like, whoa,
no
what? Zzz.
right. So then I go into my house. I walk the other way because I don't even know. I'm like,
You don't even want to know what he's doing
I
there?
can't handle it at the moment, and I
Okay.
don't even know if it's him. I was like, it can't be him.
Okay.
It has to be someone who just like looks like him or something. So I go into my house, or my apartment. An hour later, I'm walking out, and he's there.
Still.
And he says, "Do you live here?"
Oh my God.
He said, "I knew it was you. Do you live here?"
Mm.
And I said, "Yeah, I live there."
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I own this building.
No.
Not mine,
Oh.
but right next to the apartment building next door. He owns."
No. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that
Wow.
absolutely absurd?
Mm.
Of all the apartment buildings in Los
The one
Angeles,
to the east or the west?
west,
Oh my Lord.
I could not comprehend. Can you believe that?
Wow. And then he was just hanging there.
The workers were doing something on that building, and he was
okay.
micromanaging that. Like, I could not.
Yeah, of all the buildings in all of Los Angeles, it'd have been, it stopped one stop shy of what would be insanity, as if he
Oh,
owned
my.
yours.
But
Because then he might evict you.
I know, but in some ways, it's crazier because he's always my neighbor.
Oh, right.
Like, he's always been my neighbor, and now he's my neighbor again.
Yeah, no matter where. He was probably your neighbor in Georgia.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
He was probably living with Sean Penn's daughter.
Yes.
When she was your neighbor.
He was Sean Penn that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like kind of
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn.
If you can imagine a super weak Sean Penn.
Yeah. But of course he was like, "So you got your permit?"
Oh, he knows.
I emailed him yesterday morning. That's the other thing. I haven't talked to him in months. In months. And yesterday morning I emailed him to tell him. I just said, "Hey, I'm just giving you a friendly heads up. We got what we needed. We're starting construction on Wednesday." That's it. I haven't talked to him in months, and I send that, and then I see him, and then
Unreal.
no. This sim is so crazy.
It's hitting hard right now.
hard.
Yeah, Sim's hitting hard. Drop it like it's hard.
Hard. Had to
Wow,
call
wow.
Bill immediately. He could not. He was like, "What?" Like he just could not wrap his head around
Yeah.
it. Understandably, either can I.
I love that you called Bill. Beautiful Bill.
Beautiful Bill. So that was a big story.
That's an enormous one.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That left the Seinfeld genre
Right.
and got more like scary movie,
Sci-fi.
Sim,
Yeah. So,
Duck, Duck, Goose,
Black Mirror.
Black Mirror, big time Black
Truly.
Mirror. Yeah, that was Black Mirror.
yeah.
I like your Black Mirror stories too. I don't
Oh,
know which
good.
one I like more, Seinfeld or Black Mirror. They're both
Oh,
great.
Thank you.
Both variety.
I like that I have options.
You do. Yeah, you're not painted into a corner in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, because I don't want AI to know how to be me.
Right. No one does.
I need to
There's
throw them off.
a lot of curveballs.
Yeah.
A lot of curvies.
So, Sim is real. Sometimes I like believing in it. You know, 'cause we joke, but I mean, yesterday it's
You were
real.
certain of
it's
it.
real. It is real. That's that.
Okay.
Today I'm a little, even though the penne did reinforce,
Mhm.
I backed off a little.
And Eric's text.
But yeah, that's
Keep your eyes peeled for sim glitches.
I have to call him after that, or
Yeah.
like text him.
I don't know if I've had any.
Really?
Yeah, sim glitches. I've
Well,
been
just
too
keep your
distracted
eyes
to
out.
observe.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to believe in it because when things are not happy or good, you can just be like, "Oh, it's just not even real."
Yeah, it's part of the little struggle.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
It's part of the little struggle it gives me so that I feel the reward of overcoming it.
Say that again. Sorry. What do you mean?
It's part of the sim can't let you be happy all the time. You would short
Right.
circuit. So you just know, oh, there's one of these little hurdles.
It's just added
so for
in.
Charlie and I, like when we went to the Miami Grand Prix, the sim was so on point.
Right.
As I told you, it
Yes.
rained on me in the middle of nowhere. I almost didn't make my flight. We were terrible and didn't get any interviews. We gave up, and then we got the 2 best
Big
interviews.
reward.
And we're like, God, the sim scripted that perfectly. Like we were at the verge of giving up. We just barely brought our equipment the second day. And the sim knew the whole time.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, oh, yeah, this is just written in, but it'll be done soon.
It's not a story if there's no hurdles. Like you're going to be sitting in your beautiful backyard of your beautiful house that is bigger than mine. And you're going to...
You have to add that in. Like, I feel, okay.
I want people to know.
I know, but it makes me feel, and this, I guess, is my insecurity.
Yeah,
But
tell me what it makes you feel like.
I feel when you say that, you're saying I've like cheated the system somehow.
Oh, really?
Kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, this is what's wrong with us.
Well,
That's me being proud of you. That's literally just me being proud of you.
yeah.
I met you as a babysitter 7 years
I
ago, and now
know.
you're building a house that's bigger than mine across the street from me. That is like such a source of pride for you.
Well, that's nice.
That's what it is.
I'll take that. I can hear that.
Yeah, that's
But
what it is.
That's what, when I hear it, I hear somehow like,
No, I don't. Obviously, I'm a cheerleader, and I'm not threatened by you. I'm first one in, ground floor.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe like second or third.
Okay.
Well, I have to get my parents' first ones in.
They were first ones in. Yeah.
Well, I was first one out.
Yes.
Of my mom's pussy.
Yes. Oh my God. Made me think of that photo of her.
I knew you were
Immediately.
going to think that.
How could I
She's
not?
kind of splayed.
She is being kind of sexy. I don't know if she knows
I know
it.
she doesn't. And that's what was cool.
Yeah.
I thought that too.
She
thought
looks hot.
She
Like she's-
looks sultry and hot.
Yeah.
And I know her, so I know she's not thinking that at
She
all.
can't help it.
Yeah.
It's just in her.
And that made me sad because she didn't get to she
Run
didn't get to
around.
use it.
I know. That's why I always propose these weekends with her, but you always hate those.
I do because I hear that. This is all an episode about what I hear. I guess.
Yeah. What do you hear when I
I
say
hear,
that?
and maybe because I do feel so connected to her, or we're similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That it feels like when you say you want to go back in time
Uh-huh.
and play around with her,
Yeah.
roll around. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that.
Dance, prance.
To me, like you're like, oh yeah, she didn't get to do that, so I want to like give her the platinum package. I want to do her a favor.
It's not a favor though.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Well, I agree that I don't think it would be.
The only person that enjoys receiving the platinum package more is the person giving the platinum package.
I think she might have a secret platinum package.
I can't wait to find out.
I think she
Sign
might.
me up. Well, that
And-
picture tells me.
I know.
Yes. Yeah, she's a Hellcat.
It's one thing.
She's a Hellcat.
but she's not. And
But she is.
Well,
She can't even hide it.
she is.
I'm going to call her.
No.
I have her phone number.
God. I think
And say,
she
Nermy,
is.
can I have a sexual conversation with you?
I wish she had got to explore that
Mm-hmm.
part of her.
Yeah.
Who would she have been if she had done that? I don't know.
Although we don't know. Maybe she and your dad had a real kinky phase.
Maybe.
Maybe they went every which way, you know? We don't know.
I don't want to.
Surprise.
I don't want to think about it. No, she was such a good girl, though.
See, you have the luxury of not thinking about it, but my father was, and my mother are both overly open
Vocal.
with me. I know that they both thought the other was a tremendous lover.
That's nice.
Sure, but no, like your dad's a great fuck more than like, She
Yeah.
didn't say those words,
Okay.
and so she did, and he was very complimentary too.
That's interesting because do you feel like that's maybe gendered? Maybe she knows that if you hear that, you will have some pride in him or something.
It's not that.
It's not.
It's just she can't not be honest about it.
Sure.
Like your dad was tremendous in bed. Like she can't. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It's like these are the facts.
Right.
Your dad brought it home.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
I don't know. It's just weird because
Everyone's-
I know what my dad's penis looks like. So it's like,
Yeah. And you know what your mom's vagina.
I do not, and I will die before I ever find out.
Oh,
I know. I
God.
think about that. Like,
Why don't we show
I
her-
cared for my dad. I wiped his butt and
I
shit.
know.
And shit.
Yeah.
That was an accident,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't. I'm gonna have to hire. I'm gonna have to.
Carly can
outsource
do
Yeah,
it.
Carly's got to. She's got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
You know,
be
but
doing-
my mom's wiping her dad's butt right now and penis.
Boy, and his penis, cleaning his
Washing
penis.
it.
Oh my god!
I know.
Sterilizing it.
But I think at that point, I mean, it depends on the state of your mom. Like my grandpa's just a baby now.
Yeah,
And she really can compartmentalize that.
Yeah, she might be stronger than me. I don't.
Well, she's
wanna
strong, as we know from the picture.
Oh.
Why don't we show your mom some of the chocolates?
Oh,
And then she can say which one she
no,
identifies
no,
with
no,
the
no,
most.
No.
Anyway, were you going to say something else?
Yeah, I shouldn't. I know. Anytime my mom has a yeast infection, she tells me.
Ooh.
I'm constantly hearing about her vaginal health.
And like she says it smells and stuff.
No, just
Oh.
like, oh yeah, I eat that. I can't eat that. You know, I get a yeast infection right away. You know, or I was dealing with the yeast, and I'm like, I don't.
You don't want to hear it.
No, I don't want to know she has a yeast infection at
Well,
all.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
that's
It's not
not
life-threatening.
sexual.
It's not
though.
life-threatening.
Right, but it's like if she said I have a cut on my finger. Like that's how she's.
Oh, I know that's how
Thinking
she's
about
doing
it.
it, but for me,
You don't like
I
that.
don't like it. No. I can deal with it like I deal with it. I don't ever embarrass her and say, like,
Yeah.
Mom, I don't want. I mean, now I'm on here, but thank God she doesn't listen. So whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know. You tell me. You'd obviously, we've already covered this.
Mm-hmm.
You'd much rather wipe your mom's butt than your dad's.
Of course,
Yes.
but I will say.
You're looking forward to cleaning his penis?
No, I agree. That's going to be my brother's ish.
Mhm. Yeah.
But also, I really don't want to do that to my mom
Yeah.
at all.
Well, nor did I want to do it to my
I
dad.
mean, I know.
Because,
You
by the way,
know,
I'm not suggesting we hop in the shower because he smelt great.
I know.
I'm not suggesting it out of the blue.
Yeah, he poo pooed.
Well, he just
Oh, I had-
been in the bed for
Yeah.
fucking ever.
Yeah, sure.
Ooh.
Cheese.
Was
there cheese?
I don't want to talk about
Okay.
it anymore.
Okay, we don't have to talk about it.
A
But
big bowl of penne in his pants.
oh God, God.
I will wipe a choke.
Okay,
I would.
I would wipe your dad's butt if
Oh,
he was
that's
alive,
nice. You couldn't. You couldn't have wiped my dad's butt.
because he would have.
He would have gotten erect. For sure. I wouldn't put you in that position because it would turn sexual.
Well, for him,
I
but it
know.
wouldn't be sexual for me.
I know, but what if
He
he,
wouldn't
was
have been. He wouldn't have like.
been aroused?
No, he wouldn't have then forced me to do anything. He wasn't
No.
a predator.
No, he wasn't a predator, but whatever one step before. No.
No.
He would have been, maybe aroused.
Oh, that's fine. He's an old man. It's okay.
Thank God that's how the nurses felt.
Anyway,
Anyhow,
all right. So
was this episode littered with
facts?
factual claims?
No,
Yeah.
not really. But okay, what's the height requirement at theme parks?
Can I guess?
Sure.
Probably already guessed in the
I think you did,
episode.
but yeah.
I want to say, I think there's two.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 42 and 48.
48's common,
Okay.
and then some are 36.
Oh, 3 feet tall is all you got to
Yep.
be.
I mean, depending on the ride.
Right.
And sometimes it's
Teacups.
36 with a chaperone.
So if your child starts flying out of.
You can grab.
Yeah.
But 48 seems to be general.
I almost fell out of I don't know what story that would have been, like 38th floor window in New York when I was a kid. You may know this story. We got kicked out of the Milford Plaza Hotel as a family.
Okay.
Is they put all the boys in one room and they put my mom and stepdad and 2 sisters in another hotel room. And then
Oh.
us 3 boys were in one. And it started very innocent. It was paper airplanes out the window, tearing pages out of the phone book, sailing them out. And then it escalated. and then it was wet globs. The toilet paper, which when they would land, they would get like
Splat.
8 feet wide. And it was
Yeah.
irresistible.
Sure.
And I was in the middle of pitching something out this window, leaning over, and I had that moment you have when you realize you're free falling. And my breath stopped. And then all of a sudden I got jerked back in the window from my brother. My brother saw me starting to fall out the window and grabbed and pulled me back
My
in.
God.
I'll never forget. I can see it so fucking clearly. And I was only 11 years old. Knock at the door the next morning. We did it all the first day. Woke up in the morning. Want to throw a couple more things out?
Sure. Why not?
I mean, really, I say this, obviously, this was insane. We were so young, we didn't know better, but someone could have died, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
Knock at the door, open it up, hotel security holding a coat hanger and an empty shampoo bottle.
What?
Yeah. Those were items that we had thrown out.
Oh. Oh, a coat hanger.
Wooden one. We were hucking them to the side away from the street,
Yeah.
in between these buildings, and they would just sail forever.
That's yikes.
Yeah.
But nothing happened.
Okay, so there's a uplifting. So I'm sorry, everybody in the world that I was a part of that, and
boys
sorry,
did.
Milford Plaza Hotel. We might have been on day 3 of what was a 3-week family vacation with 8 of us in a van driving from motorcycle race to motorcycle race, and we had got thrown out of the hotel.
Yeah.
You can't imagine the vibe for the next few days. It was insane. Okay, cut to. I'm probably 24 years old, 25. I go to New York, and this is going to be the first car show that I'm running. So my mom's not running it. My brother's not. I'm in charge.
Yeah.
25. Big deal.
Yeah.
3-week car show, driving from New York to Berkshires to Martha's Vineyard, then back, then back, then back, then back, then back, then back. Walking down the street early in the morning to go to the parking garage. And in front of me, there's like an explosion.
Okay.
Like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then I look and I realize, oh my God, that's toilet paper.
Oh.
About 3 feet in front of me. And then behind me, turn around and then 2 big splatters. I look up and I'm like going through every floor. And then I see 2 little kids up on like the 13th floor.
Yes.
Right by the museum, right
Well,
up the
probably
Central
not
Park.
the 13th floor.
That's true. Although it was, but probably labeled the 14th.
Yeah.
And I look up, I see these kids, and I just go, yes!
Oh,
I
that's
cheered really loud
nice.
for them. I was just remembering how fun it was watching that
Yeah.
toilet paper splatter.
But could it have killed you?
Not toilet paper.
Okay.
We threw some bad things out.
Oh, God.
It was like 1985.
Well, you got lucky. You live in the Sim, so it's fine.
Yep. It's fucking on. That hotel's on Times Square. The Milford Plaza.
Oh, it
Yeah.
is.
Like it couldn't be busier down on the
Oh,
street
I
level.
thought it was Milford, Michigan.
No, New York City.
Oh, I was
38th
so
floor.
confused. I was like, why were you guys at a hotel in Milford?
Right on the 38th floor.
Right. Oh, it
I
was
told
in
you there
New
was
York.
one 60-story building in my small town, right?
Yeah, everyone knows that. Whoa. Okay, wow, you got so lucky.
So lucky. And additionly,
And somebody
we were
also
thrown
died.
out of this
New
hotel
York.
in New York City.
Yeah. Ooh.
My
Oopsie.
stepdad was not a happy camper.
That was which one?
Rick. Hey, Rick.
Yeah.
Remember Amy Poehler's character?
Oh,
Rick,
yeah.
Rick.
Yeah. Okay. So you brought up Shaq's girlfriend, and just a reminder, his ex-girlfriend.
That breaks my heart.
I know, but
But tough shit.
yeah, they're not together. Okay, the shortest baseball player to ever live is Eddie Gaedel, and he was 3'7".
Hold on.
Was it for the White Sox? The Comiskey?
Monica, no one is 3'7".
He was 3'7", and it was Chicago.
Ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding. He would not make it on any of the
Well,
rides.
Shortest player. It is a ding ding
He's
ding.
not 4 feet tall.
You're right.
Comiskey was known. He brought him on the team let him bat, and it was like 4 straight balls because his strike zone was so small.
He was probably 1 inches.
Wow.
So he was there just to walk. So he
Basically.
No,
he
it
had
says
him first batter. Or something
he
like
gained recognition in the second game of a St. Louis Browns doubleheader. Wait,
that? What happened? Double header.
I know. I obviously don't know how to talk baseball. He was 3'7", and he's
Oh my
weighed
God.
60 pounds.
Oh, guys, this can't be real. What
Yeah, he
year
made
is
it-
this?
He made a single plate appearance,
16-30?
and he was walked with 4 consecutive balls. And then a pinch runner was put in for him.
Yeah, so
He gave him the uniform number 1/8.
What? Oh my God! So he's
that's
kind of like a.
bad. They
Yeah,
shouldn't have
Yeah.
done
What
that.
year was this?
1951.
That seems too recent.
Yeah,
I
it's not
I
that
could
long
stomach
ago.
this in the 20s, but
Okay, then Willie Keeler. He was 5'5". That's the next, and there's a few other 5'5s.
yeah, 5'5" is fine. That's what they say about 5'5". 5'5" is fine.
The tallest baseball player was Luke Van Mill.
Oh darn! I was going to guess, and I would have been wrong.
Okay, what were you going to say?
I would have thought Randy Johnson was the tallest, but
He was 6'10", Randy Johnson, but Luke, or it's L-O-E-K.
Oh.
Luke.
L-O-E-K. Ooh.
Yeah. He was 7'1".
Loic?
Loic.
Who
Luke.
did he play for? The Giants.
He played. He played for Dutch. Are we counting it?
I'm
It's
not-
professional.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, in that probably he made a salary.
He played for the Curacao Neptunos. Neptunus.
I love the Neptunos.
Okay.
There is a really tall guy that the Giants have right now
Oh, really?
that David and I, when we went to the game, saw him pitch. He's 6'11".
6'11".
Wait,
And
is
Randy
it
Johnson
Sean?
was
Sean,
6'10"?
Sean? He's number 2.
What was
on
Randy
here.
Johnson, 3?
6'10". Yeah, he's like 3rd. But this guy's 6'11", Sean.
What a guy.
He's 26.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we saw him
How
in
much is he?
person when we went to record up there, and he was a giant.
Astronomical, probably.
He played
It's real. I can't wrap my head around this. This might also be sim.
glitch?
Yeah, more like that thing I saw on the internet, and I forwarded it to you, and it said proof of the sim was that a bus is the same width as your car, and in your car there's just 2 seats in front, and you're touching shoulders. And on a bus, somehow
I know, it doesn't make any
there's
sense.
2 sets of 2 seats, and there's a walkway.
Yeah.
Those 2 things can't be true. That's part of the sim.
Right.
But we do accept it as true.
Right.
We walk in there and space-time changes. But it maybe I'm wrong, and maybe this is because I'm tall. But there's something bizarre about how exponential height is after 6'4". You know, if you imagine what someone 6 inches taller than you looks like, that's everyone. We wouldn't even think of the height difference between
Yeah.
you two. But someone 6 inches taller than me is 6'8", and that's all you would be able to see.
Yeah.
I don't understand that part of it. There's this tons of variation that we don't even bat an eye at. But
Right.
once you get in that range, for some reason,
Because it's so few people. That's why.
yeah, but it is metrically the same. So
It's just, I think it is just percentiles. Like that person is in the 99.9.
true that. But I was more wondering if when you're staring up, well, we know this, right? When you draw a building, you draw the top skinnier than the bottom because it's getting skinnier as it goes up. And so there are optical illusions that are at play. And I just don't know if somehow at some point that starts looking like they're 9 feet tall.
Well, everyone knows if you're past 6'4", your body does that. It turns
starts-
into a point at the top.
Yes,
Your head is a
that's-
point.
Your head's a point.
Yeah.
It's the vantage
Everyone
point.
knows
Vanishing
that.
point.
I don't even need to talk about
You
that
don't
because
need to
everyone
talk.
knows.
That's a fact. Everyone knows.
It's like you are a triangle.
Common knowledge.
Yeah, uncommon knowledge.
That's
That's
how uncommon.
That's Rob's joke.
How uncommon.
Okay. Well, obviously we talk about McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds,
Yes.
and
And our
since
jealousy.
right, and since we recorded this, Wrexham won the league.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And is now moved up to a different
Another
league.
tier.
Yes, exactly, another tier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and
Of course, Ryan Reynolds touches yet another thing.
I know, and
And
Rob.
it turns to fucking gold.
Yes. And they had the sweetest, like when it all happened, they both posted videos of the moment when
The winning goal or
yeah,
whatever.
and it was so sweet. They were both so
Were they there for
overwhelmed.
it?
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense because Caitlin had posted a picture.
They were all there, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cute. Okay, so he said if you've seen Jurassic Park 15 times, how many years of your life? And you said 30 hours. And the movie is 2 hours and 7 minutes. So do you want to try
Oh,
again?
how many times are you going to see it?
15.
15. 2 hours and 7?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 70 and 95. I don't know.
31 hours, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I got to 95 and I'm like, oh, I got to do 60. And that's, yeah.
I
and
used a calculator.
Okay, you did a great job.
Thank you.
I presume that's correct.
It's modern technology. Oh, okay. You said that Providence is the third gangster city. So then I looked up gangster stuff, which was pretty interesting.
Yeah, welcome to my interest of the last 30 years.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the mafia is currently most active in the northeastern United States with the heaviest activity in New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, New Jersey, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, in New England in areas such as Boston, Providence, and Hartford. And there is a cool mafia organization chart from the FBI.
Mm-hmm.
And it has,
Easter egg.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that Easter egg is connected to another Easter egg
Oh, my God.
that is from an intro from a couple episodes ago. I forget what it was, but I left an Easter egg, and it's the same Easter.
Same one.
Same egg. Okay, so New York's 5 families.
Oh, can I try some?
Yeah.
The Genovese family,
Mhm.
the Gambino family,
Mhm.
the Gravano.
Nope.
No, Sammy the Bull Gravano. He's not. That's not a family.
What's going
Now hit me.
on? Bonanno. That doesn't sound right at all.
Bonobo Chimp.
It's Bonnano.
Bonano.
Bonanno.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Columbo
Oh, what a show.
and Lucchese.
That's the one I knew that I couldn't think of.
Lucchese?
Yeah.
Those are the 5
Main
New
Italian.
York 5 families.
There was a Giordano in St. Louis that maybe you were thinking of.
Oh. Ghirardelli's.
Ooh, the Chocolate Mafia.
Oh.
I love that. Chocolate Mafia is the Ghirardelli's.
Well, Hershey's is
versus the Hershey's versus the Godivas
versus the M&M.
No, that's
Mars.
Hershey's.
Mars, I mean.
Oh, Mars.
Mars is like, do you know this? Do you know that the Mars family is like the wealthiest family in the world?
What?
I know. I just learned this and I can
Really?
barely believe it.
From Mars bars?
That's right.
Who even eats Mars bars?
So many of your favorite candy bars are owned by the Mars company.
Who? Kit Kat?
Snickers, I think. I'd have M&M maybe. We'd have to look up Mars.
No, M&M I thought was Hershey's.
Well, he's from Detroit.
Oh.
M&M.
Yeah, they're worth $24 billion each, 3 of them.
3 of the kids are worth $24 billion each.
Oh my God. Tell me what the candy bars are.
What's under the Mars umbrella?
Yeah.
We should do a partnership with Mars.
Yeah, they could sponsor us.
Yeah.
They
Then
have-
I could build a house as big as yours.
All right, so we got 3 Musketeers,
I do love that.
5 gum, I think,
5 gum.
Altoids,
Oh.
Wrigley's Double Mint,
Oh.
Combos,
Oh.
Wrigley's Big Red,
They're into the gum industry.
Dove Chocolate,
Oh.
Dove.
Duh.
Eclipse, Hubba Bubba, Juicy Fruit, Kind Bar,
Oh.
Kind bar.
Shit.
Lifesavers, M&M's,
Oh, you were right about M&M's, not Hershey's. I was wrong.
Lifesaver.
Milky Way, Skittles, Snickers, Starburst, Twix,
Snickers,
Oh, God, you
Twiddles,
just said
whoa,
so
whoa,
many.
whoa.
Oh, my
You just
God.
read the whole candy
Oh my
rack.
God, oh my God. Okay.
Winter
Why'd
Fresh
you decide
Extras.
to blast
I
through
know,
all
the
the big
most
ones? That was a
important
curious
ones.
rollout of all that. That's like a couple
Yeah,
I didn't
first you
hear
said
of.
5 gum, which
Yeah,
no
you're
one
like,
knows.
You're like wobble wobble.
I was going way
Peanut
too
nannies.
slow, and then I saw this list was really long.
Will you read the last 5 that you ripped through? That was crazy.
Skittles,
Yeah.
Snickers,
Ooh.
Starburst, Twix, Orbit.
Oh my God.
Those are the biggest ones.
I mean,
for
this is
sure.
everything.
How do they own all of this?
They slowly accumulated all of them.
That's amazing because no one even likes Mars bars.
That's the hack.
Exactly.
They're smart. That's how you stay low profile. You name the whole company after the least successful offering.
I don't really
Right.
know what that would possibly do, but it worked.
It works hard.
Just like the sim.
That means they probably own Wrigley Field then in Chicago.
Oh my God.
Baseball.
Of course they do.
But they don't own Kit Kat.
Nope.
Get a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Nestle owns Kit Kat.
Let's add that to
That's
the
a good
mafia.
one. That's
Chocolate Mafia.
also ding ding ding. Shania Twain's husband is the president of Nestle. Switzerland.
current husband?
Switzerland.
Really?
Yeah. I guess she's got a sweet tooth.
So I guess she's in the chocolate mafia family.
Yeah, I'm sure she's plotting to kill different
Godiva.
other syndicates.
Mars sisters.
Yeah, the
Wow.
Mars sisters.
Veronica Mars. Ding,
Oh
ding,
my
ding.
God.
Sim glitch.
Be careful. Keep your eyes peeled. It's raining on my barbecue.
Okay. The Triangles of Sadness director's name pronunciation.
The following pronunciation is brought to you by pronouncenames.com.
Ostland.
Wow. We had to sit through an ad for that.
Well, people got to make money.
I know, but I don't think the advertisement can be longer than the product.
Well, okay.
As a rule of thumb, we
Okay.
try to, we keep our ads, ideally, they're 1% of the experience.
There's only more than that.
120 minutes, 6 minutes of ads.
I have no idea how to do that.
6 divided by 120.
Okay. You want me to do modern technology?
Although it feels like I
6
shouldn't be allowed.
divided by
0.05.
120. 0.05.
0.05. 0.05. 0.05.
0.05 what? I
That means
forget what we were doing.
5%. That means 5% of the listening experience is ads.
Okay.
For us, for our show.
Right. And so
But for Jajarn or whatever they said,
Ostland.
Ausland,
60%.
it was like a 3-to-1 ratio.
300%.
It was 300%.
Yeah.
That's right. So 5% versus 300%.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, I guess
I guess you could have hung out and listened to it over and over again. Again, I don't know why the gap
it
was
was
so
going to
enormous.
say it a couple times. I just stopped it.
It did, I know, but the gap was so long.
Well, it wanted us to No, I think it was smart because they say it and then they want you to repeat.
Oh, okay. Rinse and repeat.
You want me to play it again?
If you can do it without that ad.
Ostland.
Ausland.
Yeah, that's how you say it.
I need to
Ruben
check out
Ostland.
his other movies. Everyone's
Yeah.
says they're just as good.
I know. That's all.
That's everything for Chuck D,
Correct.
the one and only.
Correct.
Charlie Day of Green Day. People don't know that.
It's little known
Little known
fact.
fact. Love you.
Love you.